300th game for Tex Walker as well, but it's all about the fact that the Crows are back in finals. Their first time since, of course, the tragedy in 2017. But this is a new side. I think only one or two Crows players from that team are still around. And, of course, the 300 gamer of Taylor Walker is one of them. It's going to be a massive game. Collingwood, obviously, backs against the wall over the last few weeks, of course. Only 3 weeks ago, I think these two teams actually played in an absolute blockbuster. And I think this one's going to go right down to the wire as well. So I've tipped the Crows in this game by, how much was it? I think it was 8 points I tipped them by. I think this is going to be the best final of the first week, I will say. Hey man, I'm Milo Greases, so I'm in Milos, Greece, so this is the only access I have to the game right now. Oh wow, that's a long way away, man. Well, hopefully I can entertain you for this game. I'm sorry I can't show the game, but I mean, I'm sure you understand. But yeah, this game, I will be calling it. I like to do that for the channel, so hopefully that does entertain you. If you can't find another way to watch it, I think there's probably some illegal streaming service you can probably do it from. I know the AFL do have like a streaming service, but I don't know if that works for you in Greece. But yeah, glad to see you found your way to my stream. The players starting to move into position now. Mason Cox on screen at the moment. He was one of the big inclusions this week. Some people say he's made for finals, this guy. But of course, here we go. First final of 2025 at the Adelaide Oval. And the first bounce, and we are underway. Cameron gets the first tap. Berry, good gather on Josh Dacos, and he'll get the first clearance here for Adelaide. Sends it inside the forward 50. Phil Thorpe got a hand near it, couldn't take it. On the ground, did well. Quick up towards Neil Bullen, but great. The kick was intercepted by Braden Maynard, and he will get 50 metres. As the boos ring around the Adelaide Oval, he goes straight through the guts. Wasn't a great kick to Houston. Berry was up to it. Went back in and under. He's a tough player. Neil Bullen just scrounges one forward, but Frampton intercept mark. So a couple of good early starts here for the Pies. Down in the back 50. Pendlebury works to kick out towards the commentary side wing, and he hits up Lockie Schultz. So first final for Lockie Schultz in black and white. Of course, last year in his first season at Collingwood, didn't play in the finals, the Pies, but this is his first opportunity. They get the ball now to Maynard, who drives a long ball up the wing. Cameron almost marked it in between his legs. Schultz in another, couldn't get it out. Now coming, wrapped up by a couple of Pies, and he's sent out of bounds. Was one of the best players in the game a couple of weeks ago, Isaac Cumming. Probably his best game in Crows jumper. So good to see him get the ball early. So back in again, tap down, coming through his lead, trying to get, maybe draw a high, but to go, he was up to it. And we'll have another stoppage. Game's going to be stuck a lot in stoppage tonight, you would imagine. O'Brien down, Dacos had an arm held, play on says the umpire. Burrowing through was Chris, but Riley O'Brien, good strong tackle. And he pushes his opponent into the turf as he gets up. It's going to be a tough game of footy. O'Brien once again. Cameron couldn't gather it. Now Dacos just happy to escort that over the boundary line. And we'll have it up again. There's just a nice buzz around the oval. Buzz around South Australia throughout the week. So many headlines across this Crows team. So many great players in their first final series. Cameron with the little flick on. Schultz went up. Immediately tackled. In an arm wrestle as you would expect early on. So tap down. Coming through there is Nick Dacos. Saligo tracking him. Ducking and weaving. The trademark moves of Dacos. That kick was brilliant. On the inside finds Lockie Schultz. Josh Dacos provides an option. He decides to go longer than that. It's a high up and under ball. Who's going to fly for the Pies? Elliott out the back! That'll do! Jamie Elliott will have the first shot of the night. Thought someone may fly for that ball, but Jamie Elliott just read the drop zone, and he should be able to kick the opener. So Jamie Elliott, I would say, was robbed of an All-Australian spot. But I'm sure a goal in the first final to get his team up and about would do enough for him at the moment. 25 metres out, not much angle to speak of. He's kicked it well, and he's up and about. So are the Black and White Army around the Adelaide Oval. Collingwood strike first. Great finish there from Jamie Elliott. Great work here from the Pies at stoppage. Just the ball got knocked down into space here, and Dacos had a little bit too much space. And the kick inside on the opposite foot was textbook stuff. It was a perfect kick. And then the Lockie Schultz long bomb. Don't know if there was much method involved in this kick, but just Hugh Bond in his only very inexperienced defender got pushed under the footy. And Jamie Elliott would be licking his lips at that matchup. So back in the middle we go. Crows get another clearance, this time through Saligo. Hands up was Michael Annie, couldn't take the mark. Perryman works the kick on the outer side. Dawson tracking it down. Gets it just before the boundary line in the end. He works the ball backwards here for Worrell. Went to go for the long kick. Good smother. Good defensive pressure from the Pies. Knock it out of bounds. A lot of Collingwood fans have made the trip over to Adelaide. Dan Houston there with that smother. So back in the ruck, straight down there from O'Brien to Laird. He'll drive the floater inside the forward 50. No one's going to get there. Got a bad bounce there, Frampton. And I think it's coming off the boot of Neil Bullen. He claims it. Umpire circles for the moment. We'll get a review, but Neil Bullen is pretty confident as he's storming back to the middle of the ground. I think it has actually flicked his foot on the way through. Billy Frampton got the worst of bounces. And I think that's a goal. Neil Bullen, I think it's snicked maybe the toenail of him here. I think he's flicked this. Actually, no, he hasn't. We may have to go back a couple of seconds here to read this because I don't think he's flicked his boot there. Does not look like it's flicked his boot on this replay, but I would like to look at it back to maybe 10 seconds. Yeah, they need to wind it back like 5 seconds here. Here we go. So we're winding it back now. It's come off a knee of Neil Bullen, so I actually don't think he's got this. So it's come off the back last of Billy Frampton, so it's called a behind. The home crowd will not like that. It's very, very close there from Neil Bullen. But that is finals footy encapsulated in that one moment. It's a matter of inches which can show a team going through and a team languishing behind. Unfortunately there for Neil Bullen. just can't take that opportunity. So now Pendlebury kicks it outside the defensive 50. Cox went up a bit early. Murray with the spoil, but straight down to a pie. That was Josh Dacos. Inside handball to McQuarrie. Works the on the outside of his boot. Couldn't get it to side bottom. Bond did well. Worrell, hands up, got the ball to Miller. And now Saligo works to kick out wide, and he finds Nick Murray. So now he points long. He sends it towards Walker and Thilthorpe. Who's going to fly? Tex went up, couldn't take it. Maynard, quick back to Pendlebury. And now Quaynor will run it on the outer side. Wide looking ball. And the Pies work it out very well to Lipinski. Lot of Collingwood fans out on that outer wing there. So Paddy Lipinski just hold it up. Had a very good start to the year, kind of tapered off as the year went on. Sends it up the wing. Elliott out the back. Worrell did well, but Membry won it on the ground. Houston look away handball to find Dacos. Further wide now to his brother and Josh. Sends a darting ball up the wing. Couldn't take it. There was Bond. Comes off the knee of Elliott, and we'll see it out of bounds at half forward. So Hugh Bond had a couple of involvements so far. What a game, what a moment to be in a final. O'Brien taps it to the front. Josh Dacos watches it as it runs out of bounds once again. So a lot of stoppages here to start this game. Not even ticked into 5 minutes into this opening term. God, Neil Bullen, if you were just going on how he reacted, you would have said that was a goal, but he didn't fall the arc. So now we get back to the game. Josh Dacos swings on the right boot, sends it long. Elliott had hands, couldn't take the mark. Laird gives it off to Dan Curtin, swings it on the left boot, but turns it over. So Collingwood locking it in their forward half, very similar to how they did way back only a few weeks ago against the Crows. So he works it back here to Billy Frampton. Last line of defence, he is just on the defensive side of the centre square. They go with a long kick here to Perryman. Takes the mark. In his first final as well in black and white. So he wants to go now. Runs his full measure. Sends it just inside the forward 50 towards Cox in a 2-on-1. He did okay. Brought to the ground as Saligo flashes past his opponent. Darting ball up the wing. Fogarty couldn't trap it. Perryman did well. Looking for the 1-2. Almost the 3. Crisp runs onto it nicely. Kick on the outside of his boot. Dribbling ball. Elliott got tackled well by Bond. And almost out of bounds. Laird actually keeps it in play. So the Crows can go now. Neil Bullen. Low ball. Great kick. Finds Pedler back in the team this week. Decided to go with a little bit more experience, the Crows. Short dabbing ball was not very good. McQuarrie read it well, and he's able to affect the spoil almost, knocked out of bounds. Seems the Crows just a little bit jumpy at the moment. Not much of a surprise, really. It's their first final in over 7 years. So back in the middle, back in the ruck we go. Cameron taps it to the front. Laird tracking it with Dacos. Laird did well. Dacos, good strong tackle. Laird trying to take it out of bounds. Seems that maybe Rory Laird's playing a little bit more midfield early in this game. Maybe to just settle his team. Of course, one of the few experienced players they have from few finals experienced players. So tap down from O'Brien. Spills to Dawson. Spiral ball long. Goes out on the full. So Darcy Moore, the opposite captain, will take the footy. Just in front of the interchange gates here. So the Crows just have to settle. High pressure as you would expect. Sends the ball long now. Long high effort there from Dawson. Went on top of Dacos. Couldn't take the mark. He's in and under with the tackle on Laird. Yeah, we'll have another stoppage. So tap down from O'Brien this time. Chris spikes it forward, only as far as coming. Put the stiff arm on. Kick got intercepted. Now McQuarrie with the step to side bottom. Now Nick Dacos. You know where this is ending up. Great finish. Nick Dacos kicks the Pies second. And they look good early. Just reminding the competition that this team can do wonders when it comes to finals. That was a great kick. On the outside of the boot, never looked like missing. So back in the middle we go. Collingwood with the hot start. Dawson in and under. Socket off the ground by Cameron forward a good 20 metres. In and under Schultz. That was a tough hit. Curtin, good pickup. Works the ball forward and here's Thilthorpe. First involvement in the game. He wants to swing on that right boot. Send it long to the top of the goal square. But well done from Darcy Moore. Wasn't a great kick to Walker. So Moore works the kick wide to the leader. McQuarrie couldn't take it on his knees. Now Crisp wrapped up by Miller. Cumming comes in for support. We'll have a stoppage. So the Crows locking it in their forward half. About 80 from goal here for the Crows. Wouldn't be surprised if someone goes to Nick Dacos in the next few minutes for the Adelaide. Haven't really put someone on him as of yet. O'Brien tap out the back. Here's the man we speak of. Try to get a boot to it. Now Berry swings the ball onto his left boot. High up and under ball. Thilthorpe. Ball hits the ground. Out the back. Taylor. Young kid in his first final. Just couldn't take it off the ground. Little tap on for Walker. Ends up with Maynard. And now Josh Dacos clears it outside the defensive area. High up and under ball. Whoa! Great grab. What a season he's having. He was another one may have robbed of an All-Australian. Works the kick out wide to Dan Curtin, I believe. So now Curtin sends it high, top of the goal square. Walker's there. Goes Ivan Marks! Oh, the crowd will get right up and about for the Texan. Game 300. I don't think you'd hear a bigger roar if he sends this one through. Went up a bit early, but just held it in the air just enough to keep his opponent under the footy. And a chance here in game 300 to kick his first. Just to settle the nerves here for Adelaide. Not much distance, not much angle. No problem! Tex Walker salutes, and the Crows are on the board. So a good mark, good kick, good goal. The Crows are on the board. That's what they needed. So back in the middle we go. The Pies with the clearance now. McQuarrie sprints away from Peatling. Had a person tracking him. Had to get handball at the back. Now Parker in the team this week. Long ball. Schultz couldn't take the mark. And it's seen out of bounds. Well done there from Mitch Hinge. So a couple of younger guys in the teams for both sides. Not much finals experience. For the likes of Will Parker, came into the team for Jeremy Howe's injury a couple of weeks ago with a groin. So we go back in the ruck. Thilthorpe maybe got a fingernail on it, tapped it out of the grasp of Dacos, and he sends the ball forward. High up and under ball. Darcy Moore peels off and takes the relieving mark. So he wants to go through the middle. Oh, he's made a mistake here, fumbled it, and now the Crows are sweating on the turnover. Fogarty gives it up to Dawson. This would be something. It is just perfect. Captain at one end makes a mistake. The Crows captain makes him pay. And the Adelaide Crows hit the lead. Well, this game has been simmering throughout the last week or so. Of course, so much coming out of the last time these two teams played, and now it just started to boil over a little there. Darcy Moore, this is a dreadful turnover. Went for a kick into the middle of the ground, just hesitated for a moment, fumbled it, dropped it. Fogarty, great pressure, and Jordan Dawson, of all people, kicks the goal. How you doing, Mario? Hoping the Crows win, as the Giants would see it easier to beat Collingwood at the MCG if they're able to beat Hawthorn. Yeah, I mean, Collingwood have done it a few times with the Giants. So Dacos gets the clearance inside the forward 50, straight to the chest of Mychek, dropped an absolute soda. Crows cover it up. Hinge kicks it across the defensive 50, almost got turned over, but now Curtin works a wobbly ball out wide. Taylor, good trap. Parker, good tackle. Got the handball up, but Houston's there to help. He works the kick forward now for the Pies. High ball, wide ball out on the full. Gets a huge cheer from the Adelaide crowd. God, the crowd is up and about. Great to see here in South Australia. So now, long kick here from Worrell towards centre wing. Pedler went up, so did Walker. Good grabber. Just in between three Crows. Took everyone. Got the handball forward. Parker trying to get it in between his toes. And a ball up. Couple of fumbles here from the Pies. Couple of mistakes. And the Crows have done really well to make them pay full price. So back in the ruck again. Cox gives away a free kick for a hold. It'll go Adelaide's way. So Thilthorpe will take it. So since Thilthorpe's kind of gone through the middle of the ground, they've just lifted a little bit Adelaide. Works the kick wide and Walker once again. He's working his way into this game. Dawson makes a lead. He decides to send it longer than that. Top of the goal square almost. Fogarty was manhandled. Perryman takes the mark. So now Harry Perryman works the kick wide. High up and under ball from McQuarrie. Good work from Neil Bullen in front and knock it to the ground. Michaelani, strong tackle on Crisp. Reaps into the turf as the crowd roars once again. So just outside the forward 50 here for Adelaide. Just ticked under the first 10 minutes of the contest. Thilthorpe with the tap. Long, handball back. Crisp got the ball smothered. Word on Thilthorpe to be up and about for that one. Perryman quick give. Crisp in and under handball. Long just put it on the boot. Didn't really look. Bouncing ball. Free kick's being called. It's going to go to the Crows. Against McQuarrie. Going to go to Hugh Bond. So the Crows looking dangerous up forward. So he sends it long to those power forwards. Who wants it? Moore couldn't mark. Free kick called. And it's going to go to the Pies. Billy Frampton had the hand up. He's got it. Of course, being on both lists of the Crows and the Power, now lines up for Collingwood. Works the kick short to Dacos. Sends it through the middle of the ground. It's got to be perfect. It wasn't. Spoiled away. Cox fumble. Peatling. Handball on the inside. Michaelani, a little bit of a fumble. Parker tries to put on the pressure. And Collingwood calls the turnover. Lipinski. Dacos shrugs the tackle just in time to get it away to Quaynor. Now Lipinski works the kick out wide to Houston, who can settle. Only for a moment though. Darting kick forward for Schultz, who got pushed in the back as he marked it. Gave away the handball quickly back to Houston. Dabbing kick forward to the 50. Couldn't take the mark. There was memory, but he's got the free. In fact, it's Jamie Elliott. Worrell can't believe he's given away that free kick for in the back, but Jamie Elliott was pretty certain of it. He'll go back. The boos ring around the Adelaide Oval. Jamie Elliott. Well, he's made a living of kicking goals like this. It's a little bit early for a ice in his veins type of moment, but just to get back on the scoreboard here after they've conceded the last couple. He's a long way out here, Jamie. In fact, he's going to switch it towards the top of the goal square almost. DeGoey went up, couldn't take the mark. Keys can't grab it. Lipinski, handball on the up. Dacos and McCrew look at each other. Neil Bullen with the footy. Now Berry running and ducking and weaving almost. Works the kick towards the middle of the ground. Walker got pushed. Keys with a stiff arm straight into the face of Frampton. And Frampton got him. And again, they're in and under. A bit of push and shove once again. Good tackle there from Frampton. Watch the hips. The hips don't lie. So now Perryman on the wing. He did well. Broke the ankles there of Peatling. High up and under ball. Hands go up. No one marks. Keane got the ball slapped out of his grasp by Mychek. And then O'Brien, strong tackle. Locks him up. 20 metres out from the Pies goal. Straight in front. 7.5 left in the opening term. So Cox came in this week up against O'Brien. Great tab. McQuarrie quick outside of the boot. Couldn't get it clean. Elliott back to the goal. Good smother from Miller. And Dawson with the clearing ball. Not going to go very far though. Quaynor takes the mark. Just outside the forward 50, Isaac Quaynor. And he looks pretty confident here. So he's going to run. He's going to walk his way back here. Couple of Pies teammates just letting him know you've got the distance covered. So finally puts the mouth guard in the sock and takes a deep breath. So an unlikely source for a goal, but I don't think they would mind the Pies. So Quaynor runs a bit of an arc on the kick, sends it long. It looks pretty good. It's just been touched on the line. It's still in play for the moment. And I think it's hit the post. He'll be behind. Got right to the line there. Mark Keane had all sorts of pressure around him from my check, but stood up to it well. So scores are all square. So now Keane. What a season he's had as well, the Irishman. Sends it towards the centre square. Strong grab from the captain again, Jordan Dawson. Such a leader. Works the kick to the opposite wing here for Curtin. Had a little bit too much on it, but as his time to take his moment, take a breath and work the kick forward. Pushed as he went for the mark there, Pedler, but Quaynor stood up strong. So did well there, Isaac Quaynor, to quickly switch from offense to defense. He sends it now once again high up and under ball. Cameron's the option. Couldn't get there. Dawson in and under her once again. Myercheck dug it out. Did well to got it to the goalie. On the up to Long. Just sends a dribbling ball forward. A good 50-metre ball. Elliott puts on a block. Can he get there? Warren was too quick. He got up straight away and off he goes. Strong play from the defender. Long kick up the wing. And great grab from Pedler. He wants to wheel on that left boot. Sends it towards half forward. Fogarty's there. More in front. And I'm sure he won't leave his mark this time. Now, he made a big mistake about 5 minutes ago. He wouldn't want to do that again. Just behind the play there, Jamie Elliott just limping a little bit. I'm sure he's okay. Long 50-metre ball there from Moore. Up goes Myercheck. Couldn't take the mark. Good row from Long. Schultz, quick hands inside to Lipinski. Worrell couldn't win it. Lipinski keeps on tapping it forward for territory. In and under was the goalie. Good strong tackle from Neil Bullen. And we'll have a ball up. The goalie looking for a high. I think he tried to draw it. Umpire said nothing doing. So just inside the forward 50 here for Collingwood. Neither ruckman could get there. Cox quick give on to Scotty Pendlebury. Can he send it home? The veteran couldn't get there. Tonight he's breaking the record for the most finals played by an AFL footballer. He'd love to play a few more and potentially another premiership. The Pies just regained the lead by only a minor score. Long kick outside, but the Pies looking to put on some pressure. Peatling played on, has to get rid of it, did well. Bond, handballed, find Curtin, short kick to O'Brien, strong from Cox. Brought it to the ground and Dacos runs it out. 4.5 left in the opening term. As you would expect, it's been an arm wrestle. So centre wing, commentary side, right in front of the interchange gates as both teams make some changes. Neither ruckman could get to the footy. Saligo good gather, smothered off the boot by Pendlebury. Dacos tried to slap it, sock it off the ground once again. Dawson just gets it forward, but turned it over to Houston. True centre half back, Houston takes the mark. He works the ball wide to Quaynor. He sees an option in the centre square, he finds it. So, zigzag footy from Collingwood, just trying to pierce through the zone of the Crows. Parker finds it to Long, just outside the forward 50. So, who does Ned Long want? He sees a player working into a little bit of space, and it's Will Parker. Good work there from the running defender. 5th game of AFL footy. Finds himself in his first final, and a chance here for Collingwood to take a late 7-point lead. He decides to set up to the top of the goal square for the Flyers. Myercheck's there. Murray took him out. Surely a free kick. Had to be. And Brody Myercheck will have a chance here. There's a good kick there from Parker. And Myercheck took all the punishment here from Nick Murray. Missed the footy. Took the head. Murray needs to be a little bit more alert of that kick. So Brody Myercheck. It's been a little bit down on form in recent times. Needs to be up and about this final series if the Pies are a chance. Oh, that's spurred off the right side of the boot. And he's missed from 20 out. Oh, they wouldn't want to get the yips here, the Pies. Famously, a few weeks ago, they had 32 more inside 50s than the Crows and still couldn't get it done. So now they work it to the wing here, Adelaide. Kick towards Keys. Dacos did well to get it out to his brother in Nick. He switches it to the middle of the ground. It's a dangerous looking kick. Long did well to cause a contest. Berry burrows his head. Got the handball out, but he'll get the free. So Sam Berry has the footy. Late chance here for Adelaide to get a goal. So now Berry runs his full measure. Sends it long. Thilthorpe's the option. Quaynor cuts in front. Neither could get a meaningful effect on the footy. Now Parker in and under. Saligo wraps him up. And we'll have a stoppage inside the Crows forward 50. The more times the Crows get in front tonight, the worse it'll be for the Magpies. Think the Crows can win from being down. Yeah, the Crows, I don't think they'd have any sort of worries with any sort of deficit. They've got a very lethal forward line. So a repeat stoppage here. Of course, Crows kicked a couple of late goals from stoppage in the game a couple of weeks ago. Collingwood want to be ready just to man them up. Maynard tries to hit a clearing ball outside the defensive area. Keane with the spoil forward, but Lipinski roved it well. Look, ducking and weaving one way and another. Kick forward was touched by opponent Membry. Oh, hang on a moment. I think the umpires paid a mark here, but that was surely touched. Well, nonetheless, Membry's been paid the mark. So now Membry. Long ball up the wing. Tracking the boundary line. Cameron couldn't mark it. Seen out of bounds. So minute 48 left in the opening term. Jamie Elliott getting some work done on the bench. Doctor's still sitting with him. I'm sure he's okay, but a bit of a concern there for Collingwood. So back in the ruck again. O'Brien slapped it down. Long couldn't trap it. Dacos was there. Laird got a kick on it. 20 metres, tracks it down the line. Quaynor got bumped off it more. Good tackle from Saligo. Side bottom. Tried to mop it up. Back to Pendlebury. Tried to put the stiff arm on. Interesting call from the umpire. Yeah, he gets away with it a bit there. Thilthorpe strong tackle. So about 60 out from the Adelaide goal. So throws it up again. Cameron slaps it down. Berry couldn't take it cleanly. Burrowing his way through there. Trying at least was Laird and to go a strong tackle. So minute 21 in the opening term left in it. Pies lead by 2. O'Brien tapped down. Berry tried to gather it. Cameron in and under. Berry again tried to slap it out to space. O'Brien socketed off the ground. Pendlebury couldn't grab it, but side bottom can just handballed a good 25 metres, hoping for the runners. Dacos couldn't take it in between his knees. Now Worrell handballed it up in the air, hoping for someone to just take it. And now Keys socketed off the ground towards centre half forward, but Collingwood have the numbers. Maynard, he played on, almost stumbled. He actually did okay in the end. Runs away from Thilthorpe. Now Maynard sends it towards half forward. Myercheck got a good spoil on that one there, Murray. Worrell mops it up. Kick up the wings, a strong option to Fogarty. 40 seconds left. They can get a late goal with the Crows. Fogarty, though, doesn't want to waste it. Crowd urging him to go long. He looks for Thilthorpe. At the back is Cameron. 30 seconds left. Cameron doesn't look too concerned to try and move the ball forward. I think they'd be pretty happy taking the lead into quarter time here, the Pies. High up and under ball up the wing once again. And Murray comes in with the fist with Markeen and we'll have a stoppage. So forward side of the wing here for Adelaide. 16 seconds left in the opening term. So back in the ruck once again. Can someone get a late goal here? O'Brien slaps it down. Coming. Got tackled well by side bottom. Long little soccer on. Did nicely. Schultz over the top to Dacos. 7 seconds left. He sprints away from Dawson. Sends it inside the forward 50 to the only hope in Myercheck. But Miller, strong grab there. Right on the stroke of quarter time. So a great start to the final series. Great start to this game. The home side received a couple of big knocks early in this game, but they responded. However, the Pies lead it at the first break by 2 points. 2-3-15 Collingwood lead the Crows 2-1-13. let's have a look at the statistics from the first quarter, eh? That one. Yeah, so as you would expect, Nick Dacos is up the top. We had a brilliant first quarter for Collingwood. 8 touches, kicked the goal, 3 tackles. Riley O'Brien had a good quarter as well. 3 touches, 14 hit-outs, was very dominant, was pretty good in the ruck. I think that both him and Darcy Cameron had their moments in the opening term, though. Jordan Dawson was brilliant as well for Adelaide. 6 touches and that brilliant goal from out, just dribbling it from just inside the forward 50. Oh, shit. That one. Alright, I'm gonna go to the toilet. I just added that there because I fucking thought it would be funny. Collywobbles at their finest, I hope. Well, I think most people in Australia would agree with you there, Mario. So Nick Dacos was dominant in the opening term. So going to be dangerous. Interesting to see if Adelaide try to put some work into him in the second term. The Crows' pressure in that opening quarter as well wasn't the greatest, only 168. You'd expect a little bit better from them in the second term. 100% Murray, that's exactly the rule. Yeah, Collingwood's pressure is just a little bit higher at the moment, but only 2 points behind Adelaide. So Collingwood didn't take a lot of their chances in that opening term. So here we go. Second term about to get underway. September footy is well and truly up and about. So from the bounce down, Long got tackled by Mike Kalani. Handballed it forward. Side bottom tried to soccer it off the ground. Cumming pushed him off it. Worked back onto it. Back to the gully. Handballing forward to space. Laird. Good gather off the toes. Just swung it on the right boot. Up the wing. Couldn't take the mark. Was Curtin. Cameron. Handballed into Parker. Just sends a scrounging ball towards the middle of the ground. Lipinski couldn't gather it cleanly. Standing in front of it there was Laird. Got pushed off at Lipinski. Side bottom. To gully. Who does he want inside the forward 50? Works to kick wide. Elliott. Good work there from the Pies. He's worked out wide here, Elliott, but I don't think that will really phase him too much. So Jamie Elliott already troubled the scorers, hit the opening goal of the game. 45-degree angle, 50 metres out, runs out a little, brings it back brilliantly. Right in front of the Collingwood faithful at the Adelaide Oval. The Pies, again, kick the first of the quarter. And similar, almost carbon copy to the opening term, the Pies kick an early goal. So Collingwood again get the clearance now. Long towards the 50. Macquarie trying to trap the bouncing ball. Couldn't in the end. Lipinski, underground handball back to Crisp. Under a lot of pressure, turned it over. Curtin just spirals one up the ground. A good 60-metre torpedo, maybe even 70. Bouncing towards the forward 50 in the end. Fogarty puts on the pressure up against Maynard. He's kicked it on the full. That's on the full against Maynard. Got unlucky, but it did come off the foot last. Bit unlucky, but can't really do much about that. So Darcy Fogarty up in the gutter of all things. It's going to be a tough kick. Well, Taylor Walker has led the forward line for such a long time. It's now, he's basically given the reins off now to Phil Thorpe and this guy, Darcy Fogarty. Kicking goals in big finals. This is what he's paid to do. From 50. Oh, he duck stepped around his opponent. Now goes towards goal. He's kicked it across the face. It won't make it the distance. And I think Darcy Moore's got a touch on it. So it's locked inside the Crows forward 50. Forward pocket out of side. Who's going to get on the fly here? Of course, no Isaac Rankin, no Josh Michelli. Who's going to go? Ben Keys is at the front. Saligo is there as well. Neither could gather. Ball spills out. Long was there. Keys almost pushed in the back. Umpire says nothing doing. Ball up. So back in the ruck, O'Brien tapped down. Keys grabbed it in the moment and got the handball away, socket off the ground. Ball ricochets back to Josh Dacos, sends the ball very, very wide. This should be called insufficient intent, maybe. No, just got there in time. Was Mason Cox, may have got a touch onto it, it's out of bounds. So umpire throws it back into play. Cameron up against O'Brien. O'Brien got spun. Worked well there, Laird. High almost from Mike Alani. In fact, it was. Umpire says play on advantage. The Crows working forward through Laird. It's high. Can Thilthorpe get hands onto it? He did. Couldn't mark. Keys couldn't take it in on his toes. Fogarty back to Neil Bullen. Wasn't a great handball. Threw that out. Surely Pendlebury. Umpire says play on. Collingwood working through hands to side bottom. Who sends a bouncing ball up the wing. Keane tracking it down. Shrug the tackle well. Great composure from the Irishman. Worked the kick short to Laird, and the Crows can take a breath. Short ball. Works it well here, Adelaide. Just on the forward side of the wing here now, the Crows. Now goes long with the kick towards the pocket. Walker was there, played for it a little. In fact, it was Dawson in front. But Darcy Moore takes the mark. He's made a huge blunder in this game, Darcy Moore, but other than that, he's been pretty good. Long kick, terrible kick in the end, and Keane takes the mark. So where are they going to go now, Adelaide? They've been bombing high and long a lot so far in this game. Hasn't really worked. He goes with a low darting ball. That's not so great either. Perryman, good mark. So Collingwood looking to go forward with a bit of pace, but Elliott holds it up. But now finds an option looking through the middle of the ground. Has to be pinpoint. Lipinski stands under 3 Crows. Michaelani's spoil went straight to the go. He just couldn't keep it in front of him. Long socketed off the ground as far as Michaelani, who can work the kick out wide. Almost has too much on it. It does, but Cumming was good enough to get onto it. Snaps the ball forward for Walker. Handball over the top. They've got the overlap here, Adelaide. Fogarty kicks it over the top, and Riley O'Brien. It all in huge amount of space. Not a likely goal scorer, Riley O'Brien. But a chance here for the big ruckman to kick a goal. So Riley O'Brien, a chance here. 45-degree angle. 30 metres out, O'Brien kicked it like a ruckman. Out on the full. 15 and a half minutes left in the second term. Collingwood with the only goal of it. I can see why Taylor Walker was begging him to give the handball for a good minute there. So now Frampton just goes for the ball up the wing. Curtin glides in front. Hinge claims the mark. Play on, says the umpire. Saligo runs an arc. Sends it left. Football inside. Thilthorpe gets some space. Couldn't get to the footy in time. Walker spun 360, got the handball away. Perryman did well, got the handball. Frampton, had a fresh airy with the handball. Now Fogarty got the kick away. It was touched. Standing underneath it there was Pendlebury. Got it out somehow. Perryman sweating on him was Michaelani. Trying to get it out of there. Players jumping over the top for pressure. Ball up. Great game of footy, this one. So about 25 out from the Crows' goal. O'Brien and Cameron tussle up. Dawson tried to get away. Got a kick forward. Taylor trying to gather it. Couldn't do so. Maynard handballs it wide. Interesting call from the umpire. Ball it up. Sure, a couple of Hawthorn fans would be looking at that one saying that's exactly what Carl Amon did last week. So forward stoppage here for Adelaide. Haven't really got much to work in this opening term. In the opening term in a bit. Who can go now? Neither ruckman got there really. O'Brien flung a boot at it. But now to Goey. Great duck handball. And now a spiral outside the forward defensive 50. Elliott couldn't mark but did well to gather it. Bond put on the pressure. Side bottom. Tracking the footy up there with Cumming. Was held surely. Umpire says play on. Handballed back to Worrell. Threw a couple of hands. He did well. They work it now, Adelaide. Eventually trying to find the free man. It's Worrell once again. He works the kick up the wing. Good option. Great mark from Neil Bullen. He swung and ran away. Calling for a leader. He decides to send it long for the pocket for Fogarty. Great spoil from Maynard. Lives and breathes this club, Braden Maynard. That was a strong spoil. Back in the ruck. Cameron with the tap down. Pendlebury, good handball. Get the ball away here. The Pies for a moment. Bond almost took the mark. Was held, surely. Umpire says no. So the Crows actually lead the inside 50 count 20-13. They've dominated the territory in this game so far, but just can't get their 3 forwards to get to work. So O'Brien with the winning the tap. Bond couldn't take it cleanly. Socket off the ground by Cameron the other way. Michael Annie grabs the footy. Long. May have given away a high one. Looking at the umpire. Almost pleading for a free. Umpire says nothing doing. So the game comes to a bit of a standstill in this second term after the Pies kicked an early goal. O'Brien with a tap. Dacos swung, got the handball out just in time. Pendlebury went to ground, flung a hand at it to get the ball into his possession and did it well. Now Dacos ducking out of the traffic, gives the handball back to side bottom. Did really well. Handball underground to Cameron. Can they get out of here? The Crows put on a lot of pressure. O'Brien did it nicely. Swung the ball forward, a bit of a chaos ball, and Taylor Walker read it perfectly. Well done there from O'Brien. Strong pressure there from the big ruckman. And that's really what got themselves to work there. O'Brien just swung the ball forward. Maybe that's what they needed to do. A bit of chaos. Maybe that's what they needed in Walker. Again, they need a settling goal. Is Taylor Walker up to the challenge? You'll know the result based on the crowd. It's swinging back. Oh, you betcha. Walker's got 2. And he's got his team back in the game again. Well, the talk throughout a lot of this year for Adelaide has been about Riley Thilthorpe, but Walker just reminding the competition he's still up and around this Adelaide forward line. There's going to be swings of momentum throughout the entire game, so you've got to take your moments. And Walker's taken both of his so far. So back in the middle we go. O'Brien up against Cameron. O'Brien tried to take the body. Cameron took the footy to go. He threw a boot at it. Ricocheted back to his own possession. Oh, he's dragged that in here, Nick Dacos. He's going to be in trouble. Got out of there just in time. We'll have a ball up. So still locked inside the centre square. 12 and a half left in this second term. Tap down straight to Crisp. Immediately tackled. Nothing doing, says the umpire. So tap down once again. This time O'Brien. Straight down to Pendlebury though. Swung it forward. Turned it over to Miller. Now Worrell. Up and under sort of ball. It goes towards the 50. Thilthorpe stands under it. So did Frampton. Ball hits the ground. Moore gives it off to Josh Dacos. Takes his full time and handball over the top. And now they can go the Pies. This is Houston. Sends it towards half forward. Not a great looking kick. Mychek took out his opponent. Umpire surely. Yeah, he's paid it. So Mark Keane will get the footy. We'll get the footy here at halfback. Mychek fell over and then just made it worse by knocking over his opponent. Not ideal. So now the Crows looking for a bit of a switch here, trying to open up the ground. So they get it to centre half back. They found Michael Annie. And he goes very wide, finds Bond. They got a bit of overlap here, Adelaide. They just have to go to work. Neil Bullen gives it off now to Curtin. He'll want to duck away from side bottom. He did. Got a bit of pressure, though, so had to give it back to Neil Bullen. Sends it towards the 50, and Pedlar, in a little pocket of space, has an opportunity here to get the Crows back in front. Great work there from Neil Bullen. One of the few players who have finals experience, and he's had a pretty good first half. Of course, won the premiership back with Melbourne in 2021. He's bringing his finals experience to the Crows. But now it's with Luke Pedlar. Come back into the team this week. They wanted experience. They wanted a bit of class up forward. And Luke Pedlar provides a little bit of a spark as the Crows hit the lead once again. So good finish there from Luke Pedler. That was a great kick, by the way, again. I know I keep on saying it, but that Neil Bullen kick was perfect. They've been bombing long throughout the majority of the first half, but just here he lowered his eyes. He didn't just bomb long to the likes of Thilthorpe or O'Brien, who was up there at the time. He just saw a kick at 45 metres out where a lot of players just wander around, and that's just where Luke Pedler was, and it was a strong finish. So we're back in the middle of the ground. 10:50 left in the first half. Thilthorpe takes it out of the ruck, trying to storm away. Can't take possession of the footy, but he's got the free kick. This is an issue here with Brody Myjack, and he's given away 50 here, Mason Cox. He likes playing the villain, but I don't think he wants to play at that sort of role. Push and shove on Mason Cox. Collingwood players trying to come in and support, but he knows he made a massive mistake there. He's given 50 away for Riley Thilthorpe, and a chance here for Adelaide to give themselves a 10-point lead. So Thilthorpe hasn't really asserted himself on this contest as of yet. But he's a new king in town, Thilthorpe. All he has to do is finish, and he does. Good finish there from Thilthorpe. Straight in front, 25 metres out. Wasn't going to miss. So the Crows starting to assert themselves on the game. They've had 10 of the last 11 inside 50s, and now they've kicked the last 2 goals. Definitely a hold. I don't know what Mason Cox is thinking. I mean, I know he's trying to slow it down, but that's obviously going to be to Riley Thilthorpe. Don't act dumb. So we're back in the middle once again. Now Collingwood trying to get the clearance. Macquarie tried to get the handball to Houston, but his kick is turned over. Berry just has to gather the fumbling ball. He did okay. Handball back, and he just sends the ball forward in Miller. A bit of a scroungy sort of effort. And then Mason Cox swung an arm back, almost hit a teammate. He's a bit angry now, Mason. Has the footy on the defensive side of the wing. So he goes to the kick wide towards Cameron, but Thilthorpe stands in front of him. Almost haunting them at the moment here, Big Riley. Oh, it's a dangerous looking kick though. He's turned it right over. So now Membry, who does he want? Works the kick, a lateral ball to find side bottom, just outside 50. Of course, famously kicked one from just outside 50 in the grand final a few years ago. Don't know if he has it in him at this stage. Oh, hang on a moment. Maybe he is going to go for goal. Well, now Collingwood need a goal just to settle themselves in this second quarter. And who else but one of their veterans, one of their leaders. Side bottom. He runs a bit of an arc, sends it long. Has he got the distance? Oh, I think Cameron's actually stopped that. And it's through for a behind. So Worrell sends the ball long, and good mark from Walker. He wants to go now. Sends it towards the wing. Going there was Peatling, but it wasn't a great kick, and Quaynor cuts it off. Their intercept mark game has been brilliant so far, the Pies. So now Isaac Quaynor sends the ball a little bit towards the corridor here. Michael Laney going back with the fly, couldn't mark. Lipinski, great rove. Who does he want? Sends the ball out wide. Good kick. He played on there, Lockie Schultz. He now gets told. Works the kick inside the forward 50, and now side bottom. He'll have another opportunity, and he's definitely in range now. So Lockie Schultz just played himself into a little bit of danger there, but had enough time to get that ball to side bottom. So pretty much straight in front, 35 metres out. Had a shot from goal outside 50 a moment ago. And he almost made the distance there. So he's definitely got this one covered. It's all about the way it comes off the boot. So Darcy Cameron just coming off the ground at the moment here with a blood rule. So they need this goal, Collingwood. 8 minutes left in the second term. The Crows will kick the last couple. They led by 10 points moments ago. It's now 9. Side bottom comes in. Cool, calm approach. It's holding that left goal post, but he sneaks it in. Good work. Collingwood get their response they needed. Back to 3 points. Whoop. KO stream's just fucked up. That'd be good. We love to see that sort of stuff here on the channel. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Is it KO or is it just my internet? Oh, could be an internet issue. Oh, yep, it's an internet issue. Oh, hang on, we're back. Are we back, ladies and gentlemen? I think we're back. Did the stream end? I think we're fine. If anyone's watching, can you let me know if the stream fucked up? Fucking hell, come on, bro. Come on, hurry up. I clicked live. Alright, there we go. So now Degoe runs away from his opponent. Handball on the inside to Long. Now Degoe. Now Dacos sends a high ball towards Membry in a one-on-one. Murray got the spoil. Dawson just got a kick away. Neil Bullen handballing back. And now Murray sends the ball very wide. Skids just in front of Taylor Walker and out of bounds. 6.5 left in the second term. So not long left in this first half. It's been a real arm wrestle, as you would imagine. O'Brien with the punch on that one. Saligo wrapped up by Schultz. Handballed wide. Interesting call here from the umpire. I think it will be insufficient intent. It is. Crows fans aren't impressed by that call. Free kick going to the Pies. Jordan Degoe will take it. So they've been happy to go through the corridor in the game so far. He decides to just go long. And now Houston tried to get the ball forward, got smothered. O'Brien went to fist it, missed the footy. Schultz sockers it forward. Straight in front of Myercheck, got boots the ball just in time. And now Jamie Elliott snaps it on the left. Just snapped it too much. So 2 points to the margin. Worrell. Short ball, good kick in the end. Dawson. So just taking their time here, the Crows. They don't want to waste it. Jordan Dawson, good man to have it with. High ball up the wing, looking for Walker. Moore glided in front, missed the footy though. Taylor on the up to Walker. They can go here, the Crows. Pedler just has to gather the footy. He did okay. Ducks past 1, 2. Got the kick forward. He did okay. Keys, surely that's a mark. Oh, I think it was 15. That was 15, wasn't it? Hang on. Oh. Anyway. I think that'd be 15 anyway. So Josh Dacos just runs away from his opponent, sends it outside the defensive 50, up the wing, went up, was keen a little bit too early. Now Membry trying to burrow through his opponent, side bottom got collected hard. Peatling tracking it down, did it well. Worrell gives it off to Mike Alani, swings onto the right, high up and under ball inside the forward 50, Moore standing underneath it, couldn't take the mark, did well to get up on it. Long in our Maynard, the spiral ball outside the defensive 50, almost into the forward 50. Elliott puts on some body work, slapping it forward in for my check. Strong gather, handball on the up to the toes of Elliott, didn't want to bend down and grab it. Bond works back very nicely there, the young man. And now Worrell sends it outside the defensive 50, but it's going to be coming back. So now Houston with 4.5 left. You know he can thump it. He decides to just massage the ball forward to Crisp. Great work from Dan Houston. Tex might have been the circuit breaker. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Great kick there from Houston just to find that player. Similar to what the Crows did in a few moments ago with the Pedler goal. But a chance here for Jack Crisp to give Collingwood the lead back. Always hit it across the face. It's a very wide ball. And Collingwood have got no representation up forward. O'Brien takes a strong grab. So Riley O'Brien on the last line of defence. As KO continues to fuck up, bro. What the hell is going on? It's alright. It's there. So O'Brien just sends it high, just outside the D50. Soligo jumps up, couldn't take the footy. Ball in dispute. Berry was there. And the stream fucks up again. What is going on? So the ball looked out of bounds there. Got a spoil on that one. There was O'Brien. It's out of bounds. It has come right back to where McCreary had the shot. Oh my God, bro. Come on, KO. So Soligo sends it outside the danger area, up towards the wing, but Darcy Moore betraying the back 50. Was able to get in front, take the mark. Works the kick short now to Quaynor. Couple of boos around the ground, sent it towards the 50. O'Brien did well to spoil. Long in and under, couldn't take it. Now Dacos. He's giving away a free kick here, O'Brien. So it's going to go to the Pies in Ned Long. So who does Long want? Just on the point of the square. He just goes to the short ball to the lead up. Did it well. Now to Goey. Swings onto the right from just outside 50. He'll get to the teeth of goal. Membry had hands on it. Probably should have marked it. Cleared outside the area here for Adelaide. And Phil Thorpe, strong grab. So now the Crows through the middle. Swung it onto his booty at Dawson. Soligo couldn't grab it. He's under all sorts of pressure. Couldn't get the free kick. And now the Pies can go on the counter. Schultz sends it as long as he possibly can. Cameron's at the back. Can he get there in time? He's looking it off the out of midair. And he's kicked it. He knew he wasn't going to be able to track it down before the defensive pressure, so he just threw a boot at it and socketed it through. Well, the Premier League has just started up once again. May have got some inspiration from some of them players. That was a great goal. Been a great first half from the Collingwood back six. And a great goal there from Cameron. Once again, it's a game of momentum. As soon as the Crows had it in this second term, Collingwood with the response, and now they've taken the lead back. Back in the middle with 2 minutes left in the first half. Dacos tracking it. Got the handball away on his far as coming. Tried to get Boots the ball, but he's turned it over. Dacos handballs it out wide. Comes back to his own possession. So he decides to go a different route. Gives it off to Crisp. Sends the ball long. High inside the forward 50. Membry's there. Keane got a sport out of his grasp. And now Myercheck. A chance to give Collingwood another. And gets a terrible bounce. So 1:45 left in the first half. Crows down by 5. Kane sends it towards half back and finds Hinge. So the Crows don't want to concede another, but they wouldn't mind one on their side either. High ball towards the wing. Thilthorpe's the option. Couldn't take the mark. Tackled immediately was Neil Bullen. Over ball up. So stuck true centre wing. Tap down from Cameron. Threw that out. There was Long. Miller on the up to Dawson. Swung it on the right boot. It's high up and under into the Adelaide sky. Thilthorpe couldn't mark. Ran into his own teammate. Long did well. Pendlebury. They can link up now the Pies. Josh Dacos sprinting away from one. They've got the link up here. The Pies. Wasn't a great handball. Keane runs off his opponent. Missed the footy. Parker puts on the pressure on Curtin. Houston tapped it. Not to his own advantage though. Pedler turned it over. McQuarrie running away. Gives off the handball to Crisp. Who does he want inside the forward 50? Low ball. Good kick. And Myercheck takes a strong mark. And Collingwood a chance here to take an 11-point lead on the stroke of half time. Great work from McQuarrie. Just a little burst of speed to get away from his opponent. Get it out into space for Crisp. And now Myercheck, who's been quiet, a chance here to have his influence. So Brody Myercheck, just on 50. Thumps it long. It won't get there. It's going to go to the left. And it's one straight goal, the difference. So runs his full measure, Mitch Hinge, and sends it as far as he can outside the 50. Thilthorpe had hands, couldn't take the mark, and Crisp scored it over the boundary line. With 5 seconds left in the first half. It's been set up as one of the biggest finals in recent memory. It was the first final. It's the game that set off September, and it's lived up to the hype so far. But we've only seen one half of it. We've got so much more to come. Free kick's going to go to Ned Long, but I think they'll call the siren here. Hang on a moment. They wouldn't want to give away a 50 here, Adelaide. It's been a free kick to Collingwood. Players still in a bit of a push and shove at the moment. Still pushing. Oh, there's a bit of feeling in it. Membry in with Michael Annie and Murray, and it's spiralling once again. Membry is not to impress whatsoever. Murray's pushing into him. A lot of spite, you can see. Jumper's been ripped off. That's Michael Annie, I believe, and he's into Schultz now. Well, there'll be a few fines set up in this one. So playing... Oh, hang on a moment. I think it's going to happen again. The players are still pushing and shoving. The Crows, Dawson's in there. Miller is in there. An event within the event, you would say. They're starting to split up now. Tim Membry's still going in. Jagowi's still going. Now they're starting to come off. Well, the second half is still yet to come. So much more left in this game. Don't leave us for one moment. There could be so much more left in this game. But guys, we'll come back in about 20 minutes or so with the second half. G'day guys, welcome back to the channel, and as you can see, we've got a bit of a different here for finals, and I make sure let me know down below as well what you would like to see. Maybe just a little bit of a background or something, just trying to figure it out, but I thought it'd be looking good for the podcast and that, so thought I'd set it up like this for videos as well. So make sure let me know down below what you think about all this sort of setup and stuff. And also just wanted to quickly say before we get into the preview to the finals, just thanking everyone who joined us for the Boundary Riders Awards night live stream, which was on Friday. And if you did miss the stream, we're actually going to be putting a full edited video on the second channel, which you can actually check out right now, so I will link that down below. But of course, we are here today to preview the finals, every single game, and we're going to be starting with Adelaide up against Collingwood. Of course, probably the big matchup of them all. Only played against each other a few weeks ago. A little bit of controversy came out of that game as well, but just looking on the teams themselves, Adelaide are probably the hottest team in the comp right now, compared to Collingwood, who are probably one of the worst teams in it, maybe just in front of the Gold Coast. Now, the Crows are in absolutely massive form. No denying that. They've been able to win their last 9 games and have beaten the likes of the Gold Coast, Hawthorn and Collingwood. Now, even though those 3 wins did come at the Adelaide Oval, it's not going to be such a massive issue. And the fact that their first final will be at home is not exactly a massive downside for the Adelaide Crows. Now, the Pies, on the other hand, have been really shaky. Since round 18, they've only been able to beat Richmond and Melbourne, while their losses have came against the Gold Coast, Fremantle, Brisbane, Hawthorn and Adelaide. So all finals teams that they've lost to, they have been unable to beat some of those top teams, which is probably a scary prospect coming into finals. Now, Adelaide should be able to see the return of Max Michaelani, but the loss of Rankin to the suspension will be massive, and Rochelle is probably going to be out for another week. So it will be interesting to see if Adelaide will go with the likes of the young Taylor and Dowling to help up forward, or if they'll maybe look towards some more experienced bodies like Pedler and Murphy. Now, on Collingwood's point of view on the injury list, the massive out will be Jeremy Howe, who will miss at least a few weeks with a groin injury, so it means they'll have to go to the VFL to potentially pick out either Charlie Dean or Will Parker. Parker was a player who did go up against the Crows a few weeks ago, so it'll be interesting to see if they'll go with that again, but it's still such a massive out for the Pies, who have really struggled this year without Jeremy. Now, we'll get to a little bit of a final segment for the preview this year, and it's going to be called the Finals Focus. We're going to be taking a look at a player from each team of every single game who we need to keep an eye on for every matchup. So for the Crows, I'm looking at Ben Keays, and for Collingwood, it's Jordan De Goey. First, Ben Keays. Without the likes of Isaac Rankin and Josh Rochelle, this guy has an important role this final series. Kicked 3 goals in the game against North Melbourne in round 24, but he's going to have to be an X factor for the Crows if they're going to be able to go all the way. He needs to replicate the final series of Kalarchi from 2024, in my opinion, and if he can, it'll go a long way for the Crows to potentially be able to get a drought-breaking premiership. While Jordan De Goey, on the other hand, has had a wretched run with injury throughout this year, but in round 24, we saw some of the best of him in that game against Melbourne, and he was probably the best player for Collingwood that night. And if the Pies are going to be able to knock off the Crows in their first final, he needs to have a massive performance if they're going to cause an upset, and will most likely have to hit the scoreboard as well. But to my tip in this game, and it is going to be the Crows by 5 points. These games are always pretty close, so I'm expecting the same here. However, with the Crows crowd right behind their team, I think Adelaide will get this one done. The Crows forward line just looks too strong for me, and especially without Jeremy Howe for Collingwood, I can't see a way where the Pies get this done and able to stop all the avenues to the Crows getting to goal. Now, my brother has put some players in focus as well. He has gone with Sam Berry for Adelaide and Josh Dacos for the Pies. So with Sam Berry, he says that he has done some tagging roles throughout the year. He expects him to go to Nick Dacos, who has played pretty well against them in more recent times. Needs to stop his influence through the middle of the ground, and they win this game. But with Josh Dacos, he said, playing off halfback most of the year and playing some midfield minutes, I think they'll have to try something different if plan A fails with the likes of their midfield core. Maybe Josh Dacos needs to go through there. But his tip is Adelaide as well. He's gone for the Crows by 8 points. The Crows have been the best side all year. Midfield battle will be huge. The Crows just has to make a 50-50 in there. And with the Pies being pretty poor in defense over the last couple of months, he thinks the Crows forwards will be able to get it done, which I tend to agree with. Next up, we get to the second qualifying final. Cats up against Brisbane, of course, a replay of last year's prelim final. The Cats going into this one with probably one of the softest draws going into the finals, but has also given them a real positive being able to rest some players up, while the Lions have had one of the toughest fixtures throughout the entire year, and for them to finish third is a pretty massive achievement. Now, the Cats have won their last 5 games, however, none of them have came against the top 8 side, while the Lions have played 4 top 8 teams in the last 5 weeks. And the one outlier was the Sydney Swans, who have arguably been the best team in the competition outside of the top 8. So both teams having pretty contrasting runs into this final series. But with everything considered, the Lions have stood up pretty well against the teams that they've played against. But on a positive for Geelong, I have noticed in the last few weeks that even though they've still been a little bit prone to going to Jezza Cameron at times when he's not really been open, it hasn't been as bad as it was in recent weeks in round 24. They're still looking for the free option rather than just being Cameron focused like they were against Essendon and Port Adelaide a few weeks ago, which I think will definitely help them going into finals, because if they're too Cameron conscious, then they're going to struggle in this final series. And on Brisbane's point of view, with their defensive attributes, they probably have the perfect matchup for Jezza Cameron in Ryan Lester, who's done the job countless times with pretty good effect. And if that doesn't work, they have some great options, great plan Bs. If Jezza Cameron does get off the chain early, they've got Harris Andrews, even Brendan Starkovich I think could do that sort of role as well. So Brisbane have countless options down in defence if Jezza does get off the chain. Now, on the injury list point of view, the Cats probably have one of the healthiest lists going into this final series, which is a massive plus for them. On Brisbane, though, they should see the return of both Berry and Neale for the first final. However, they will be without Eric Hipwood, who is likely out for at least the semi-final, maybe the prelim. Obviously, he could play in the prelim final if they are able to beat the Cats this week. Now, on my finals focus, I'm going with Bailey Smith and Hugh McCluggage. Baz Smith, first of all, a few years ago, we absolutely saw him blow up a final series with his performances for the Dogs in 2021, well and truly put him on the map. And after a terrific first season for the Cats, I think it's time for him to explode. I'm expecting a big final series from Baz Lanka, and I think that he's going to really shine for the Cats. And I think he'll have to if they're going to be able to win the flag Geelong. And on Brisbane, Hugh McCluggage is my guy to watch right now. I think this guy is incredibly underrated for such a long time, and I think he finally saw some recognition last week with his first All-Australian selection. I think this guy does all the right things and will become evident in the finals. As a footballer, he's one of the most honest players in the game, and I think Hugh is going to be in for a massive final series. But to my tip, and I'm going to actually be going with a little bit of an upset here, I'm picking the Lions by 8 points. Playing away from home doesn't have any sort of issues for the Brisbane Lions. In fact, it's probably been an advantage for them this whole year. They've actually done better away than they have at home, and they have a relatively good record against Geelong in recent times, winning their last 3 encounters against them. I think the hardened bodies of the Lions will just get over the top of the Cats in one of the all-time finals in my eyes. Now, my brother's players in focus are Shannon Neale for Geelong and Charlie Cameron for the Lions. He says, on Shannon Neale's point of view, played in last year's final series when Hawkins was out and needs to stand up if Geelong are going to go deep this year. No one player can carry a team in the finals, probably alluding to Jezza Cameron there, and he thinks that Shannon Neale, after a pretty disappointing first final series last year, needs to respond in 2025, which I agree with. And Charlie Cameron had a below par year, played a few good games towards the end of the season, but we know what happens when he turns it on, and if the Lions are going to be able to go deep, he's going to have a massive finals campaign. But to my brother's tip, he has also tipped the Brisbane Lions by 21 points. He thinks the Cats' draw has been way too soft, which he does believe does really help the Brisbane Lions. He says it could help the Cats with a lot of older players, but with the faster side of the Lions, he thinks they'll be able to catch them off guard. So both of us going with the Brisbane Lions in that game. Up next, we get to the first elimination final, Saturday afternoon, GWS up against Hawthorn. Both teams honestly could have made the top 4 if it wasn't for them dropping one game in the last few weeks of the season. GWS had a pretty tough couple of weeks coming into the finals, but they did perform relatively well, beating the Gold Coast and just getting over the line of the Saints. And after last year's straight sets exit, I don't think Adam Kingsley is going to let that happen once again and go out straight away. However, on Sam Mitchell's point of view, I think he'll really want to back up their performance after going out last year against Port Adelaide, even though they were pretty much the favourites in that game, despite being away from home. And the Hawks' form coming into the finals has been pretty solid. Yes, they did lose to the Lions in the final round, but they could have really won that game if it wasn't for a poor umpiring decision late against Carl Amon. And before that point, they did beat the Pies and the Ds. Now, the Giants could see a mass influx of players in this game, with the likes of Josh Kelly, Jesse Hogan, Jake Stringer, Jack Buckley, all potentially available for this game, and Stephen Coniglio is also a chance. While on Hawthorn's point of view, the biggest inclusion could be Josh Weddle. They will need his run coming into this final series if they are a chance of potentially causing an upset. Now, on my finals focus, I'm going with Toby Green for the Giants and Jai Newcomb for the Hawks. Toby Green, first of all, was poor in the final series last year in both their losses and needs to lead from the front if the Giants are going to be able to go all the way. Like Kingsley, I don't think he would have liked the way they exited the finals last season, and he needs to lead from the front if his team is going to go to victory in this one. And on Hawthorn's point of view, I'm looking at John Newcombe. He's their leader in the middle of the ground and is a position in my eyes where the Hawks can get on top of the Giants. If Hawthorn want to persist with this tall forward line of 3 or 4 talls, I think they're going to have to get first hands on the ball, and considering John Newcombe is the extractor of that team, he's going to have a massive night for the Hawks to cause an upset. So, to my tip, and I'm going with GWS. I think this game will be pretty close for 3 quarters, but after GWS got beaten relatively well in the last 2 final series in the second halves, I can't see them making that mistake again. I also think the Giants' defense does have enough down there to quell the influence of all the Hawks forwards, so I think the Giants get this one done. But now moving to my brother's players in focus, he's gone with Aaron Cadman for GWS and James Sicily for the Hawks. First of all, on Cadman, he says he'll likely get the Josh Battle matchup if Jesse Hogan does play. He needs to put up a contest, let the Smalls go to work. After a breakout year for the kid, this is where his reputation will well and truly be made. And I can see a real big game from Aaron Cadman in this final series, so watch out for him. And on James Sicily, the captain needs to stand up when it matters. But had an up and down sort of year, pretty slow start to the season, was probably hampered by a bit of injury, but has returned since a couple of weeks off and has come back to some relatively good form. But that can quickly be erased, that good form, if he doesn't hold up in defense for the Hawks going into the finals. So massive final series for both these teams. Like I said at the start of this little preview to this game, both of these teams could have made the top 4 and could have had a second chance, but now they sit in really precarious position in a do or die clash. So it's going to be massive, that one. He has picked the Giants in this game. He says they should get a few back through injury. He doesn't trust the 3 or 4 tools in the Hawks forward line going into a finals game. Giants have too many match winners and he can't see Hawthorn containing them. But now to the last final of the first week. It is Freo up against the Gold Coast. Even though these teams didn't qualify for finals until the final games, their best could compete with anyone in the comp. Freo have been great to watch at their best this year, and it would be a fairy tale finish for the Dockers if they could get it done for Nat Fyfe and go all the way and win a flag. And honestly, I think Fremantle can do it. Out of any of the teams outside the top 4, I think Fremantle are my team that could go all the way from 6th spot. Now, Fremantle potentially could have made the top 4 if they didn't drop that game against the Lions a few weeks ago. So now they do sit in a bit of a tough spot going in a do or die clash against the Gold Coast. Now, on the Suns, of course, they are playing in their first final series. This is massive for the club, as it's been a long time coming. But honestly, if any team has just fallen into this final spot in 2025, I think it has to be the Gold Coast. However, they have qualified for it, so who knows what can happen. Now, in terms of form, even though it only reads slightly different with the Suns losing 1 extra game over the Dockers in the last 5, I think Fremantle have played much better footy. Now, looking on the injury point of view, Freo really have a lot of players in their reserves trying to vie for spots to potentially take over that 23rd position as the sub, but the only other injury concern on the Dockers point of view where they have to look at this final series is Hayden Young. He honestly could be the X factor that the Dockers need going into the final series, but is he fit enough? That's the question mark for mine. But relatively speaking, the Dockers are almost full strength, and looking at the Gold Coast, they could see the return of Will Graham this week, but other than that, they're relatively healthy as well, so both teams looking pretty good. Now, going into the finals focus for mine, Fremantle is Caleb Sarong, and for the Gold Coast is Touk Miller. For Sarong, throughout this season, I've said countless times, if you tag Sarong, you can beat the Dockers. So I really think this guy is the most important player out of the entire finals series. And I will be interested to see if the Gold Coast have some plans to quell his influence, because they don't necessarily use a tagger. So I think Caleb Sarong's a big watch in this game. If the Dockers are going to go all the way from 6th spot, I believe this guy needs to have a massive campaign. But on Touk Miller's point of view, he may not be the captain anymore, but I think his leadership will be pivotal in the Gold Coast potentially causing an upset here. He's going to have a massive night to get his team over the line, along with the likes of Noah Anderson and Matt Rao. But now to my tip, and I'm going with Fremantle by 30 points. Out of any teams making up the numbers in this final series, I think the Gold Coast are the real culprits here. I think they have struggled to play full quarter performances throughout really the second half of this season, and I really think Freo are the real deal. And am I a team to watch out of this final series? With the Dockers at home, I think they'll be able to get this done relatively comfortably. But now onto my brother's players of focus in this final series. He's gone with Shea Bolton for the Dockers and Bailey Humphrey for the Suns. On Shea Bolton, he says he needs to show why they picked him up. It just can't be Caleb Sarong and Brayshaw. With Shea Bolton be able to change a game in 5 minutes of footy, this will go a long way in the Dockers be able to make a charge in this finals campaign. He thinks that Bolton will be an integral part in the Dockers play this final series. And on Bailey Humphrey, back from a slight injury, but can play a role through the forward line as he's one of the best one-on-one young players in the game up forward as like that medium-sized player, and can really help with Ben King if he's not able to take the contested mark. He also likes the idea of Bailey Humphrey going through the middle of the ground, which can be a real asset to the Gold Coast, especially with Rao and Anderson. If they're being able to be quelled, Humphrey can be a real asset through there. And if they want to make their first final series a memorable one, the Gold Coast, he thinks that Bailey Humphrey could be the guy to get this one done. But he has tipped the Freo Dockers by 44 points. Fremantle are just going to be too good defensively throughout the second half of the year, and he can't see the Suns playing 4 quarters against good sides. And with final series being all about being consistent, he can't see the Gold Coast getting this one done, unfortunately. But for now, let's get to our full tips for the first week of the finals. So my tips are the Crows to beat the Pies by 5 points, the Lions to beat the Cats by 8 points, the Giants to beat Hawthorn by 25, and the Dockers to beat the Suns by 30. And my brother's full tips for the first week of the finals are the Crows to beat the Pies by 8 points, the Lions to beat the Cats by 21 points, the Giants to beat the Hawks by 9, and the Dockers to beat the Gold Coast by 44 points. But finally, guys, I really wanted to announce the winners of the tipping competition for the channel and the Fantasy League, which you guys may not have seen at the moment. So the winner of the tipping league, who led throughout the entirety of the year almost, was Leviticus. He did end the year on 161 tips, so congratulations to him for the winners of both the leagues. Just message me on Instagram. I'll ask you a few questions just to prove that you are the winner, and then I'll give you the gift card for the win. So well done to you, Leviticus. And on the AFL fantasy point of view, the Cheetah Cubs Timber Ashworth is the winner. So make sure to message me, guys, to get your winnings, because congratulations. Throughout the entire year, you've been able to win throughout both the competitions, so well done to both of you. But finally, guys, just before we leave this video, we do have one more video essay coming out for the year. It is coming out tomorrow, so make sure to check that out. And if you want to check out other content on the channel, then you can click this video right here to check out a new video. G'day guys, welcome back to the channel, and as you can see, we've got a bit of a different setup here for finals, and make sure to let me know down below as well what you would like to see, maybe just a little bit of a background or something, just trying to figure it out, but I thought it'd be looking good for the podcast and that, so thought I'd set it up like this for videos as well, so make sure to let me know down below what you think about all this sort of setup and stuff. And also just wanted to quickly say before we get into the preview to the finals, just thanking everyone who joined us for the Boundary Riders Awards night live stream, which was on Friday, and if you did miss the stream, we're actually going to be putting a full edited video on the second channel, which you can actually check out right now, so I will link that down below. But of course, we are here today to preview the finals, every single game, and we're going to be starting with Adelaide up against Collingwood. Of course, probably the big matchup of them all. Only played against each other a few weeks ago. A little bit of controversy came out of that game as well, but just looking on the teams themselves, Adelaide are probably the hottest team in the comp right now, compared to Collingwood, who are probably one of the worst teams in it, maybe just in front of the Gold Coast. Now, the Crows are in absolutely massive form. No denying that. They've been able to win their last 9 games and have beaten the likes of the Gold Coast, Hawthorn, and Collingwood. Now, even though those 3 wins did come at the Adelaide Oval, it's not going to be such a massive issue. And the fact that their first final will be at home is not exactly a massive downside for the Adelaide Crows. Now, the Pies, on the other hand, have been really shaky. Since round 18, they've only been able to beat Richmond and Melbourne, while their losses have came against the Gold Coast, Fremantle, Brisbane, Hawthorn, and Adelaide. So all finals teams that they've lost to, they have been unable to beat some of those top teams, which is probably a scary prospect coming into finals. Now, Adelaide should be able to see the return of Max Michaelani, but the loss of Rankin to the suspension will be massive, and Rochelle is probably going to be out for another week. So it will be interesting to see if Adelaide will go with the likes of the young Taylor and Dowling to help up forward, or if they'll maybe look towards some more experienced bodies like Pedler and Murphy. Now, on Collingwood's point of view on the injury list, the massive out will be Jeremy Howe, who will miss at least a few weeks with a groin injury, so it means they'll have to go to the VFL to potentially pick out either Charlie Dean or Will Parker. Parker was... Alright guys, we're back with the second half. So De Goey gets the first touch, working the ball forward now, the Pies. Nick Dacos got the free kick for holding the footy. Sligo grabbing in between his legs. Hopefully that's not a nut injury. That would be really terrible. Decides to go short. Finds Crisp on the point of 50. Wants to hold up for the moment. It's a long way out, but I think Jack Crisp thinks he has it in him. Jack Crisp looks like he's going to go to the top of the goal square, which he does now. Who's going to fly? Mason Cox gets the leap. Couldn't take the mark, though. In and under. Fumbled the footy. Peatling was there. So was Elliott. Burrowing through. Tackled ball up. So back in the ruck, slap down. Dacos got the handball clear. Schultz quick boot to ball. It goes high up and under. Not going to be 15. Cox again had hands on it. Couldn't take the mark. Murray tackled well by Dacos. Ball is still in dispute somewhere in there. Ball up. Hit the head of Brian there. That was headbutted it away. Side bottom read it well. Sends it long. I think he's got it. There he has. Pies lead by 12. Big start to the second half for Collingwood. Once again, they kicked the opening goal of the quarter. Mark Keane still having a bit of push and shove here with Myercheck, but the goal is all that matters at the moment. Collingwood again, strike first. That came off the head of O'Brien, that hit out. I wonder if that counts as a hit out. So we're back in the middle once again. Can the Crows respond? They've done it all night. Cameron trying to get it out of there. In and under there was Saligo, pushed off it. Now Long sprints away from his opponent. Went to handball, realised he had more space, so just drives it inside the forward 50. Elliott couldn't take the mark. Bond trying to take the footy. Gets it out. Collingwood players sweating on the pressure. Cox trying to take his opponent away off the footy. Good tackle. Collingwood started brilliantly in the second half. So Cameron in the ruck, wins it to Schultz, tackled, but got the kick away, sends it across the 50. Curtin has to stand precariously under the footy. Lipinski puts on the pressure. Houston, good tackle, ball gets out. Crows can go. Bond threw that away. Play on, says the umpire. Curtin has to get rid of it. Miller a tackle, dropped it. Collingwood's pressure is lifted. Ball gets out. Lipinski quickly up to Long. Handball through to Nagoe. The young to the old in games experience. And Nagoe sneaks it in. Collingwood breaking it away. They lead by 18. Well, Ned Long hasn't played a lot of games of footy, but this was class within his... shown before his very gaming age of foot games played. Hasn't played a lot of games, but he's had a brilliant year, Ned Long, and that was just perfect play. Just stepping out of the traffic, finding a little bit of pocket of space to let to go, and then to go with the true class of a great midfielder, kicks the goal. They've kicked 4 in a row. They lead by 18 points. 2 early goals in this second half. They've got a game-high lead. The Crows will come, but this is a very nice start for Collingwood. So there was thinking of a score review. They held up for a moment, but the score has been all cleared. So it is a goal for Nagoe. Great start for the Pies to this second half. What have the Crows got now? O'Brien with the tap. Saligo takes the footy cleanly. Got it on the up to Peatling. Sure, he threw it. Great tackle from Ned Long. He's had a brilliant start this second half. So 18 points to the margin. He swings onto the right boot. High up and under ball. Myercheck is there, so is Cox. Had hands, couldn't mark it again. But still side bottom, roving it like the pro he is. And he kicks another. The Collingwood Blitz is on full display at the Adelaide Oval at the moment. They lead by 24. Well, they may be a little bit undermanned in the crowd tonight, the Pies, but they're in full voice right now. From the tap down, Crows need a response. Peatling with the clearance forward. Spiral ball. Moore couldn't mark. Walker couldn't win the footy. Did well there, Moore to knock it away. Crisp, strong tackle from Neil Bullen. Should be rewarded. Had to be rewarded. Yes, he did. So free kick to the Crows. They need the next goal. Neil Bullen, who does he want inside the forward 50? Has a little bit of space, sends it towards the pocket. O'Brien's the hope. He's the hope! Great grab from O'Brien. Oh, he gives off the handball quickly to Keys. He kicks it wide. Wasn't confident on it there, Riley O'Brien. They needed that goal. It went wayward. So now Maynard sends it up the wing, looking for Cox, and good mark. He's had a good start to the second half, Mason Cox. Gives off the handball. Crisp, handball over the top to Goey. Looking one way, about to get tackled. Had to hit the body there, Cumming, missed him. And he gets away with it. Dacos kick on the inside, 15-metre ball finds Quaynor. So the Pies just taking a moment here. Short ball to Dacos. That surely wasn't 15. He runs away from O'Brien. Sending it inside the forward 50 for Myercheck, but getting in the hole there was James Peatling. Crows under siege right now. They need the next goal. Stuck in their defensive 50 right now, though. So they switch the play to Bond. Short ball finds Worrell at halfback. Had a lot of touches. Hasn't had the real impact that he usually does. Short ball finds Taylor. So what do the Crows want to do now? He just a little pop kick down the wing. Looking for a flyer. Couldn't take it, but out the back, the Crows have numbers. Neil Bullen kicks it forward once again. High towards Thilthorpe. Good spoil from Maynard. Gets it to Frampton, and he'll clear it outside the area. Long ball. Good mark. Stood in front there was Curtin. Switches it inside for Hinge. Still on the wing on the outer side. So much time left in this game. He gives it to the runner in Worrell. He'll go inside the forward 50 once again. Walker! He's the hope in this game, Taylor Walker. Game 300. He's still such a pivotal force up forward. Every time tonight the Crows have been under pressure early in quarters, Taylor Walker has been the man to stand up. Right now, this is his most important kick of the game. He's carried his team on his back before. It may be game 300, but Tex, they need you again! And he's missed. Big miss, that one. That needed to go through. So Dacos works it into the back pocket, finds Maynard. And again, they go on this commentary side wing. O'Brien sitting in the hole. Hinge with the spoil. Ricochets back to Peatling. So eye on the boot towards half forward. Good work there from Taylor. Takes the mark at half forward. So who does the young man want? He's got a lot of options. He waits for the lead of Thilthorpe. Gliding in front, there was Dawson. Spoiled by Quaynor. Almost into a pretty dangerous area, though. But McQuarrie coming back. Lends support. Gives it off to Maynard. Kick on the inside was nice. Hits up Crisp. Collingwood are controlling this game of footy right now. They've kicked 3 goals in this third quarter. Crows have not got one. They've stemmed the bleeding for a moment here, Adelaide, but Collingwood still have the momentum. Sends it up the wing for DeGoey. Strong hands. DeGoey's been good. So who does DeGoey want? He's pointing in front of him, looking for someone for a lead. He's looking for Jamie Elliott. Couldn't take the mark. Spoiled to the ground. Now Keys gave it up nicely to Peatling. Bit of a floater into the middle of the ground. Frampton has all the time in the world just to collect it and send it back into the danger zone for Schultz. Great work there from Collingwood. He played on out of bounds. Gives it into Dacos. Interesting. Well, Nick Dacos, to give his team a 28-point advantage in the qualifying final away from home. Of course, a home prelim is up for grabs, and right now the home team are on the back foot. He's already kicked one tonight, Nick Dacos. That's a classy finish on the left. He'll kick from 50 metres out. He'll run a bit of an arc. Nick Dacos, it's slid off to the left-hand side, and it's through for a behind. In fact, hang on a moment. We may be getting a score review. Yep, we will be getting a score review. Umpire's call is a behind. Looked like it was behind. And it was. "12 minutes left in this third term. Collingwood have controlled it. Long kick outside the defensive 50, and they find Dan Curtin at halfback. So now Curtin, high up and under ball up the wing. Who's going to fly? Dawson tries to get into the front spot, couldn't take it. Collingwood on the ground. Houston, handball back. Quaynor just tapping it forward only as far as Keys, who's working his way into the contest. Handball did nicely. Berry, short kick. Good pressure there from Moore. Maynard had to get the kick away just in time. Lipinski, inside ball. Quaynor, and now Collingwood can switch it on the outer side. And now, of course, the buffering once again. Fucking LKO. This has been a joke, this stream. This is a fucking KO. Fucking hell. Oh, it's fucked up again. Good on you, KO. Fucking brilliant. Do they have it on 7 Plus or is it just on 7? I think they do have it on 7 Plus. I may have to put it on that. Collingwood just kicked another goal. Yeah, it is on 7. Good. Whoa. Hang on a minute. Is this on a half an hour delay? Oh, God. I have to turn off my stupid ad block. I don't even know what it is. I don't know. That's alright. KO's coming back now. I'm interested to see if other people are having issues with their car. So we're back in the middle of the ground. Nick Dacos, handball on the up to McQuarrie. Over the top they go here. Collingwood a chance here to make it 35 points. Lipinski decides to work it short for Elliott. Good spoil from Bond. Elliott back onto it. Quick little kick on the up to Lipinski. Just has to gather the clean ball, dribble it and goal it. Oh, Collingwood. Why would you question this team? They're out by 35 and they've got the informed Crows on the ropes. The Crows haven't been against this sort of pressure for a lot of the year, and now they're up against it. They're almost on the end of a semi-final must-win game next week. 5-0 in the third term. And Collingwood right now are ready to march on to a prelim at the MCG. If they off they go again. McQuarrie handling it to his own advantage. Berry did well to gather the bouncing ball. Keys now led. Sends it towards the wing on the bounce to Walker. He needs to lift. Gives it off to Keys. They got a bit of overlap here, Adelaide. Who do they want? Taylor ducks around an opponent. Sends it towards the top of the goal square. 1-on-1. Pedlar and Maynard. Pedlar wins. Pedlar runs on. Pedlar goals. That's what the Crows needed. Good work there from Luke Pedlar. It was a good kick there from Taylor. Couple of less experienced players combined for a big goal. They desperately needed this goal here, Adelaide. They bring it back to within 29. And I don't think any sort of deficit will hamper this team. So many avenues to goal. This game's not done. 9.5 left in this third term. Setting the challenge to the home team. Now Cameron spinning and weaving and throwing it and gone. Crows win the free. Wait, what? Oh, fuck off. That's the free kick. Oh, whatever. Lipinski now. He breaks 45. He kicks on goal. And the footy gods are here. That should have been a free kick to the Crows in the middle of the ground. How was that not holding the footy? An even 30 points. Long kick. Dacos with the spoil. Up goes Hinge. Handball through to Neil Bullen. Got boot the ball quickly. Taylor tried to get into a spin. Now Parker. Handball back to Pendlebury. Handball on the inside. Hoping for DeGoey, who takes it strong. Handball back to Cameron. He works the kick out wide for Frampton. They've been solid in defence tonight, the Pies. So Frampton sends it towards the 50. Thilthorpe goes back with the flight. Ball gets out there though. Now Myercheck swings it on the left. Goes close. Hits the post. Oh, they're threatening to take this game away here, the Pies. So now Hinge sends it straight through the middle of the ground. Looking for Walker. Should get a free, does. So a free kick here to Taylor Walker in the middle of the ground. Who does he want here, Tex? He's looking up forward. Doesn't really know what the option is at the moment. He now just goes long. More in hope than anything. Fogarty gets a leap. More with the spoil. Misses it was Cameron. Walker again. Shrugs the tackle with a bit of disdain on that one. Taylor, great composure. Works the kick out wide. And now it's Dan Curtin. Can they get their second in a row? Gives it off the handball to the runner. And now Fogarty. Great spoil from Darcy Moore. And he marks his own spoil. Great work. So Brodie Smith is a sub for the Crows. Neither sub has been used for either side just of yet. Don't think they'll be too far away. Mason Cox, great contested mark. He's lifted in this second half. Gives off the handball. Now Dacos, short little stabbing ball, finds the lead up here in Membry. He wants to wheel, he wants to go, sends it towards 52 to Goey. Great spoil from Hinge. On the ground though, it's all Collingwood. Long, kicks it to the top of the goal square. 1-on-1, Myercheck fighting hard. Keane sockers it away, but only as far as Jack Crisp. And the crowd goes silent. This would be a game-high 37-point lead if Jack Crisp is able to go back and kick a goal. So Jack Crisp. A chance here to give his team a massive lead. He's kicked it across the face. It's still in play, but it hits the post. Collingwood are just leaving the door slightly ajar. They've had a few opportunities. $32 points the margin. Now Miller sends a high ball up the wing. Frampton, great body work. Handball misses target though. Saligo surely got a high one. Free kick's called. A lot of the prime movers for the Crows haven't touched it in this quarter. Now Michaelani works it forward. Walker, great grab. He can wheel and go. No one takes the mark. He drives it from 50. Attacks lifter. Goes wide. He's missed 2 chances in this third quarter, Walker. $31 points the margin. Josh Dacos has the kick-in duties now. 5:45 left. There's still so much time left in this game. You can't count out the Crows just yet, but right now Collingwood are in the box seat. Dacos goes long. Michaelani gets a sit. Got it down now. Neil Bullen. High up and under sort of ball. Peeling stand underneath it. Couldn't take it. Quaynor trying to get it into his own possession. Did well. Long got a handball just in time. Maynard almost slapped away from him. Peeling couldn't get there. Cameron. Maynard did well. And Collingwood can link up on the wing. Crisp. Trying to look through the corridor. Gives it off to DeGoey. Handballing forward. Long. Dawson tackles. Gets the handball away. Quaynor almost threw that out. But Collingwood have the overlap. Great work there from O'Brien. Causes the turnover. Saligo kicks it to half forward. Great work to Fogarty. Doesn't want to waste it. Sees a lead up in the pocket for Pedlar. Well, he's making a bit of the difference here. The inclusion, Luke Pedlar. He's kicked 2. A chance here for his third. I don't think many people would have thought coming into this game that Luke Pedlar was going to be the big contributor up forward for the Crows, but right now, they need anyone. There's a good kick too from Darcy Fogarty. So now Luke Pedlar. The onus sits on his shoulders. Is he up to it? Pedlar comes in. He's right up to it. He's kicked the last 2 for Adelaide, and they're right back in it. Well, out of their 7 goals, Luke Pedlar's provided 3 of them. Great pressure here from the Crows through the middle of the ground as well. Collingwood were through if they just got one more handball, but it was Riley O'Brien's hand that got in the way of a Dacos handball, and that caused the turnover, and Luke Pedlar kicks the goal. So back in the middle of the ground. DeGoey trying to step through the traffic. Got it back to Cameron. High up and under ball towards half forward. Elliott is there. Takes the mark. Are you kidding me? Not again. Are you fucking... So it looks like the sub has been made. It's actually Mitch Hinge of all people has been subbed out for the Crows. Wide looking kick. Houston couldn't mark. Yeah, it goes out of bounds. Weird option there from Elliott. The Crows midfield has been dominated in this third term. They've been beaten 9-1 in clearance. Jordan Dawson's hardly seen it. Saligo hasn't seen much of it either. These guys need to lift for Adelaide if they're going to cause a big comeback here. From the middle of the ground, Dacos spun 360. Didn't take possession of the football though. High up and under sort of ball. Peeling went up, couldn't mark. Parker tried to get it out of midair, missed it. Now Berry, he runs away from a couple of opponents. Takes a bounce, realised he didn't have much options forward. Dawson got tackled. Free kick gone out to Collingwood in the middle. Great pressure there from Collingwood. That caused the turnover. Short ball inside. Finds DeGoey. Just on the forward side of the centre square here. He works it short. And he finds Will Parker. 25 points. It was as big as 36. He goes high and long. Not a great kick. Standing underneath it. Surely should get a free there. Worrell. Chop the arms. Umpire says play on. Seen out of bounds by Crisp. Collingwood have looked dangerous up forward at midfield at stoppage, but they can't win it here. Worrell handballs it outside the area. Fogarty's there, so is Thilthorpe. Neither could get the footy on the ground. Frampton fought hard. Ball spills now to Thilthorpe. Short ball, good kick. Should be 50 here. Has to be 50. And Josh Dacos has given it away. So well done there for the Crows. Ben Keys is going to be taken all the way to the 50-metre line, I would imagine. He's got Jordan Dawson, decided not to give the handball. So Ben Keys, who's brought up during the week, in his last 11 meetings against Collingwood, he has not kicked the goal. This is needed for the Crows. Ben Keys sends it long. Has he got that essence? No. Stopped on the line. Oh, he's gone, Perryman! Surely! How is that not paid? I guess it wasn't really a tackle. Hang on a moment. So a free kick to Isaac Quainer in the back pocket. I guess it's a bump. So ball just outside the defensive 50 here. Mason Cox jumps up again, claiming it. And a ball up. So back in the middle we go. Worrell stepping out a couple of opportunities. Works the ball forward. Did it well. Peatling takes the mark. Probably too far out to score. Minute 55 left. It's going to... James Peatling came in as a recruit from the Giants. Him and Isaac Cumming playing in their first final at Adelaide, along with so many others. He gives off the handball to Murray. He'll drive it long from outside 50. The long ball, it goes almost all the way. I think Darcy Cameron's fumbled that over the line, though. So it was no score. Long kick from Murray. Went so far. Just couldn't get the line. And in the end, it's just the turnover. So a minute 36 left. There's 25 points the margin. He gives it off to Pendlebury. He'll drive it outside the area. They've gone on this commentary side wing a lot tonight. Went up there. Cox couldn't mark. Worrell. Tackled well by Long. Crisp comes in as well. Ball up. Cameron tried to slap it out of the area. Laird in and under. Try to get it out. Crisp has beaten to it. Now Long. Tackled well by Neil Bull. It should be rewarded. It's gone out of bounds. Nick Dacos comes in with a bump. A lot of feeling left in this one. Ooh. That'll be an interesting watch. May have hit it a little bit high there. So now Dawson gets the handball at the back to Worrell. He's been good. High up and under sort of ball. Thilthorpe needs to announce himself on this game. Has been hardly sighted for a lot of the night. Strong contested grab. And in the shadows of three-quarter time, it's the Colossus who can get his team back in it. Riley Thilthorpe He's been outstanding throughout the whole year. Hasn't been his night, but it can be his moment, and he takes it! Good kick from Riley Thilthorpe. The Crows back to within 19. They've kicked the last 3. It's a good response from Adelaide. It's only 19 points. So back in the middle we go with 20 seconds left in the quarter. Can the Crows get another one maybe? Dacos goes in, left the footy behind. Somehow Collingwood play, I think it was Perryman got it out. Curtin, Laird, linking up nicely here. Brodie Smith the sub, first touch for him. Bit of an inside-outer job, ball forward towards Neil Bullen. I think they're going to run out of time here. The Crows, hang on a moment. Was that a throw? No, Soligo gets boot to ball. Siren may have sounded. Will it go through? No, stopped on the line. No score. The siren has sounded. 19 points as we turn for home. Collingwood kicked the first 5 goals of the third term to break away. Almost had the Crows all but done. But the last 3 goals went Adelaide's way. And at three-quarter time, the away side up by 19 points. 10-11, 71 Collingwood. Lead the Crows 8-4, 52. I gotta go to the toilet. I'm still gonna pee myself. So players are starting to move back to position for the final term. We are set for a massive finish to this game. Collingwood kicked 7 goals in a row, either side of the halftime break, but the Crows did finish with the last 3 to keep themselves in touch. But Adelaide need to lift in the middle of the ground if there's any chance of clawing their way back into this game and actually winning it. They've been down all night, but they've been the best team in the last 10 or so weeks. So 19 points separate these teams as we head for home. Phil Thorpe kicked a late goal. He's been quiet most of the night. Can he have an impact in this final term? Here we go. The winner onto a home prelim. The loser in a do-or-die clash next week. So here we go. From the bounce, Dawson pushes his opponent. Couldn't get there, but now led to Saligo. First clearance, Adelaide. Long ball. Spoiled down by Frampton. Good 50-metre ball. Spoiled towards the boundary line. It's seen out of bounds. So a good start there for the Crows. Little positive. Get the first clearance of it. They only got two centre clearances in that third term. The Pies had 7. So throws it up here. Cameron was there, couldn't take it. Now Dacos, strong tackle on Laird. And the ball up again. So Rory Laird's gone into the middle to start this final term. They needed something different here, Adelaide. He played midfield a lot of the last couple of years. Has hardly done it this year, but they needed something different. And here he is on cue. Gives the handball back to Saligo on the left boot. Forward it goes for Walker. Couldn't take the footy. Phil Thorpe gets there very well. Walker shrugged the tackle. Got it away. Only as far as Parker. He can clear it outside the area here for Collingwood. Held up here with Schultz on coming. Ball up. Small chance there for Adelaide. Goes begging. So 19-15 left in the game, of course. Very early stages, final term. Saligo just pushing it forward here. Keys wrapped up, got boot the ball somehow. Sends a scrounging ball forward. Now Walker trying to take the contact, got the handball away. Keys just took possession in time. Pendlebury gave it through Lipinski, who went to ground. Now DeGoey tackled, but got rid of it just in time for Parker. Now on to Nick Dacos. Strong tackle from Smith. Should be rewarded, wasn't. Land on the up to Saligo. Scrounging ball inside again. Phil Thorpe couldn't take it cleanly on his toes. Houston sockers it out of the area. Good 50-metre ball. Could have taken it. Almost did in the end, Elliott. Now Worrell. Back, turned it over again. Myercheck gives it off to Lipinski. One more handle in there through. That was a throw. Play on, says the umpire. Membry sends it long. Not a great kick. Keane tried to tap it to his own advantage. Elliott put on the pressure. Keane stands up. Did really well there. Finds Curtin. Did really well. And now the Crows can go. He finds Dawson. So now Jordan Dawson was quiet in that third term. Needs to lift if he's going to get his team home. Sends it towards the wing. O'Brien and Phil Thorpe were there. O'Brien plays Rover. Gives it off to Saligo. It was smothered. Now Collingwood on the ground. Dacos gives it off to DeGoey and now Nick. Bit of a floater inside the forward 50. Murray got pushed. Did okay. Keane handballs it off to Bond. Free kick's being called. They take the advantage here, Adelaide. Bond threads one through to the middle. Now Phil Thorpe. Who does he want? Short ball. Finds Taylor. He has to get rid of it quickly. Did it well there, the young man. Off to Phil Thorpe. Finds his chance at half forward. Neil Bullen takes the mark. Quickly gets back off his mark. Taylor was in short, decides not to go there. And now he's going to take his full time. Dawson is there for a handball. Ooh, I would have given that. So like I said earlier in the game, Alex Neil-Bullen, one of the few players who have had finals experience. This guy has felt the pleasure of a premiership. He sets it up to the top of the goal square now, though. Who's going to go? Curtin was there, couldn't mark. Frampton got the handball out. Perryman surely threw it. Taylor on the boot! Goes wide. In fact, it was Saligo. Brings it to an even 3 goals, though. So 18 points. Collingwood have it now with Pendlebury. Works it back to Josh Dacos in the back pocket. So Collingwood, they can't save this game. They have to continue to go on and win it as they've done all night. Interesting to see how both these teams face this final term. High up and under ball. Dawson just overran it. Gets out the back for Membry. Tackled immediately. Murray slides in. Couldn't take it. Now Dacos up against Curtin. Got it out. Collingwood got overlap out the back. Crisp gives it off to DeGoey. Running after him was Neil Bullen, but he's got off to McQuarrie, who missed the footy. Has to go back and get it. Did okay. Now Crisp trying to get out of the traffic. Handball forward. Turned it over though. Laird did well. Dawson needs to work it forward now. Goes to, terrible kick from the captain and gives it off to Parker. Looking through the corridor. It's a dangerous looking kick from the kid. He's turned it over as well. Now Smith gives it off to Walker. Two veterans of Adelaide combined. He just sends the ball forward on a bounce. It's a bit of a chaos ball. It's going to work. Phil Thorpe, handle over the top to Keys. He's met by two pies. Great pressure from Collingwood. Great work from Collingwood. Phil Thorpe should have just gone for goal. Ben Keys had no right boot to swing onto, so now they survive another chance there, the Pies. Houston gives it back to Perryman, links up with Quaynor, and he sends the ball towards the wing. Good looking kick here for Membry. So now Membry just comes inboard, finds Pendlebury. So much time left in this game. Only one score seen in this final term so far, which was a behind of the Crows. So now Tim Membry once again. He's one who obviously didn't taste grand final success a few years ago. Long ball up the wing. Free kick's been ripped out here, going Collingwood's way to Myercheck. So who does he want? Myercheck. They've been dangerous up forward all night, the Pies, with the long ball. Mason Cox has provided a pretty good option. He'll send it as long as he can towards the pocket. Keane is there. Good spoil. Out of bounds. So back in the ruck we go. Cameron won it down. Bond was there. So was Berry. Ducked out of a couple of tacklers and sent it outside the defensive 50. Walker backing into his opponent. Frampton, good spoil. Out of bounds again. So 14 and a half left in this game. 18 points Collingwood's lead. Led by 19 at three-quarter time. So back in the ruck again. Cameron with the tap. Schultz goes back off his knees. Did well. Gives it off to Pendlebury. Wants to use it wisely. Gives it back to Schultz, who sends the chaos ball forward. Murray was there. Got a spoil on it. Strong tackle on Elliott's. Ball up. Bond has done pretty well in this second half after Elliott kicked 3 in the first half. 14 minutes left. First goal of this last quarter is so pivotal. Schultz gave the handball. Elliott wasn't ready for it. Bond clears it outside the area. Parker waits for the bounce. Almost stolen from him by Dacos, and Pedler. Strong tackle. Tackled him into the centre square. So from the tap down, Cameron was there. Berry couldn't take it cleanly. Free kick's been ripped out. It's going to be going Sam Berry's way. It's against Nick Dacos. So now if Dawson gets the footy, sends it towards the half forward. Quaynor, good spoil. Parker got beaten to it by Laird. He wanted it more. Gives it off to Walker. Usually a good user. Great kick. And it's to the goal kicker in Luke Pedler, who's been lethal all night. So Luke Pedler seems to be doing the job in the final term against Darcy Moore. Has been really good tonight, the captain of the Pies. But he's playing a role, and that was a great kick there from Walker to hit up Pedler. So a chance here for 4. 45-degree angle, 45 metres out. He's provided an option, and this one drifts left. A couple of opportunities gone begging here for the Crows in this final term. So it's 17 points. Pendlebury will take the kick in here. Sends it wide, very wide. But it's the perfect kick. So now Darcy Cameron. Time off the clock is vital here for Collingwood. But they still need to kick probably another goal or two. High up towards the wing. Cox did well to provide an option. Part of the C's there, Crisp. Handball on the inside to Lipinski. Now he finds Pendlebury. Time always seems to slow down around him. Now to Jack Crisp. Who does he want inside the forward 50? Great work there from Worrell. Had to get his hands on that mark. And he did it well. Saved a certain goal. For a wide kick there from Worrell. Oh, it's on the full here from Murray against Worrell. So now McQuarrie here, 55 out from goal. He's going to go to the top of the goal square once again. They've done this a lot tonight. Darcy Cameron is there, so is Membry. Phil Thorpe got back to support, got a fist on it, runs out of bounds. Still haven't seen a goal in this final term. So Jordan Dawson just having a little bit of a check there from the doctor. Seems all good. He'll be back on in a moment. So back in the middle, Laird just got it out in time. Now Schultz got it up. Did well to go. He kicked it into his own man. That could have been a goal. Spoiled away there by Worrell. Spin there from Lipinski. Tackled by a couple of Crows. Ball up. Straight in front of goal here for Collingwood. About 30 out. 11:48 left. So Phil Thorpe and Cox do battle. Long handballing it forward. McQuarrie trying to get it away. Did well to not take possession. Now he needs to go grab it now. Did okay. Murray. Good tackle. So 11:36 left in the ruck. Cox taps it down towards the pocket. Curtin slid out of bounds. Matthew Nixon, his first final as coach, and he's right up against it. Neither team has kicked a goal in this final term. Eerily similar to when these two teams met a few weeks ago. Great work here from Cox to give it on the up to Dacos. He ducks and weaves once and twice. Kick out wide to find Membry, and he's paid the mark. So now Tim Membry hasn't played in a lot of finals throughout his career. Started at the Swans, never really got a go. Was at St Kilda for a lot of his career. This year moved to Collingwood, and he could taste the ultimate success with his team, but this kick goes wide. And again, neither side is taking their opportunity. So now trying to get through here is Collingwood. They get the free kick at half forward for Lockie Schultz. Just inside the forward 50. He gives off the handball to Dan Houston. Great smother. Great work from Peatling. Now Pedlar got it out. Ball spills past Peatling and Houston. Gets back onto the footy. Kick back to Frampton. Went about 5 metres. Umpire immediately calls him to play on. So he goes with the lateral ball. Finds Mason Cox. Looks like Roan Steele is actually about to make his way onto the ground here, the sub for Collingwood. Works the kick inboard to Dacos. And he finds Darcy Moore. Still a lot of time left in this game, but right now, Collingwood are in the box seat. They find Will Parker. He goes over the top and he finds Jamie Elliott. So now Maynard Swings it inside the forward 50. Wasn't a great kick. And Miller takes the mark. So now the Crows just need to go. They need to play some aggressive football. It's a good-looking kick. He finds Walker. Walker goes to the long kick. Out the back, they've got a number. It's Jake Saligo. Who does he want forward? Ben Keys working into a bit of space at half forward. He decides not to waste it, just works it in short. And now coming, sends it towards the top of the goal square. Dawson and Thilthorpe are there, neither could mark. Ball gets out the back, side bottom. Has a lot of time here in the back pocket. Who does he want? Sends it up the wing, looking for McQuarrie up against Michael Lanny. Michael Lanny did okay. Taylor seen out of bounds. $52,000 at the Adelaide Oval tonight. They're witnessing a great game of footy. Thilthorpe tried to get the tap down. Dacos absolutely threw that away. Neil Bullen gave it on the up to Peatling. Sets it towards the middle of the 50. Walker's there, got pushed. Pompey says play on though. Houston gives it up to Degoe. He works it off to Perryman. And Collingwood repel another Crows entry. Great work from Brodie Smith on the wing to knock it away from Lockie Schultz. And out of bounds it goes. One of the all-timers. So back in the ruck we go. From the tap down, ball gets to Thilthorpe. He swings it on the left boot towards half forward. Josh Dacos, courage. Great mark in game 150. So now Josh Dacos sends it up the wing. Cox goes there, did well. Took the mark, gave the handball on, and my check's about to be pinged. Did well there, Adelaide. There's still time. They have not been able to kick a goal in this final term. Neither team has. So it looks like Parker's been subbed out here for Collingwood. So Brodie Smith, they want to go with the switch here. They go to Keane. Further on now to Michael Annie. And he goes on now to Worrell. Short stabbing ball finds Neil Bullen. So 7.5 minutes left in this game. If the Crows want to make their way back, they have to get a goal soon. Long kick by Frampton. Stands tall once again. 26 intercept marks from Collingwood tonight. They have been brilliant in defensive 50 or in defensive half. Now Maynard swings onto the left. Got the ball towards the middle of the ground. Spoiled down by Murray. Neil Bullen, great tackle. Crows tackling has been good in this last quarter, but they need a goal. He works the kick out wide to Keys. Low ball inside the forward 50 for Walker. Well. He swings around on the right boot. It swings, it curls, it bends, and it's missed. He's missed a couple tonight, Walker. $17 points, the margin. They've wasted some crucial chances in this final term, Adelaide. So it's onto the wing, but the Crows have possession. Miller did well. Dawson handballed it back. Murray on to Bond. 6.5 minutes left. The tick, tick, tick. Worked the kick inside to Saligo. Did it well. Bit of space here for Brodie Smith. He's on the teeth of the goal. Centre square. He goes long. Wasted opportunity. Darcy Moore takes the relieving mark. That's 27 intercept marks now for the Pies. Fine, still side bottom. Side bottom sends it long. Going back with the flight was Bond O'Brien. Did well to slap it back to Keane. Low ball did well. Now Smith sends it towards the 50. Pushed out of it there, Neil Bullen. Hasn't paid it. And 9 intercept marks now for Darcy Moore. The record is 10, I believe. Sends it towards the wing once again. Cameron couldn't mark. Cumming held up by a couple. And we're about to tick under 5 minutes in this final term. We have still yet to see a goal. This would be one of the all-time finals wins from Collingwood. No one really saw this coming. Back in the middle we go again. Try to break away there with Saligo. Handballed in the middle of the ground. Taylor got met hard. Curtin was there. Dacos didn't want it as much as Bond, but the ball spills out again. Pendlebury. Again, time just slows down around him. He works the kick out wide. Collingwood have numbers here. It's off to the sub in Steele. He gets the kick forward. And now Lipinski inside the forward 50 takes the mark. Take your 30. The teammates say there for Pies around him. A goal here would send it to 23 points and the game would almost be gone. So the Collingwood just take that 30 and then eventually just goes in short. Lipinski to Elliott. Now back to Lipinski. Short to side bottom. There's 4 minutes left in this game. And Collingwood are milking every last second out of it. Ball gets down. Now Miller sends it out of the area for the moment. Fogarty did well to step out of a tackler. Handballed, missed Bond though. Schultz almost tackled his opponent without it. Now Keys tackles. Tackle. Did want to break it. Now Fogarty works it forward. Here we go. He finds Michael-Alani in the middle of the ground. He gives it off to the runner in Keys. Back to Michael-Alani. Now Berry slammed into the turf by Maynard. $17 points. Again, the pressure from Collingwood was really well done. They're nearly there, Collingwood. Cameron with the tap. Worked it okay. O'Brien couldn't get it forward. Now side bottom. Slapped it away. Cameron handballing it forward. Turned it over to Smith. And now Dawson scrounging it inside the forward 50. Maynard went back with the flight. Should get the free kick. And he does. They just need to milk maybe another minute or two here, Collingwood, and they got this game won. Jack Crisp has the footy, defensive side of the wing. He goes long towards Myercheck. Ball gets out the back. Cameron, little soccer off the ground to Dacos. He runs a little bit of an arc, then the little duck step, kick inside the 50. Hits its target, Lockie Schultz. And time just ticked under 3 minutes here. And Lockie Schultz pretty much has the game on his boot. Well, any score here would at the very least mean they wouldn't lose it in the next 3 minutes. Let's just put it that way. So Lockie Schultz, a chance here to send Collingwood into a home prelim. He's done the worst thing of all. He's kicked it on the full. He is not... Well, actually, no, he didn't kick it on the full. Riley O'Brien took the mark. 2 minutes, 17 left. We're getting into miracle territory now for the Crows. Keane, over the top to Bond. He wheels and goes. Sends it towards a 2-on-1 in Curtin. Couldn't take the mark. Smith ran past it. 2 minutes left. Collingwood, 2 minutes away from a home prelim. Back in front of a 90,000 crowd at the MCG. Cameron with the tap. Michael-Alani fumbled again. It's been a lot of that tonight. Lipinski handballed it out to the voice of Dacos. He'll drill one in short. And I think they got it now. Myercheck takes the mark. So now Brody Myercheck. Minute 30 left in this game. Hasn't been able to kick a goal tonight. He's kicked 4 behinds. 45-degree angle. 50 metres out. And he's kicked another behind. It's an even 3 goals. But I don't think that's going to matter now. So Thilthorpe takes the mark in the middle of the ground. He works the kick to Saligo. In fact, it was Neil Bullen. As we tick under a minute, he sends it long. Moore's there. So is Worrell. Went up forward. Quaynor got a bad bounce. Crisp did it well. Quaynor get the handball out. Did it well to Pendlebury. Who does he want? He swings. He turns. He gets it out eventually to Crisp. He'll send it up the wing. Couldn't take the footy. Collingwood have just had all the answers all night, especially in this second half. McQuarrie runs away, gives it off to Nick Dacos. He'll give it back to McQuarrie. They can run it almost to the goal line if they keep on going. McQuarrie's got an option on the inside, decides to go as long as he can, looking for Elliott. Couldn't take the mark. He landed like a cat, swung it out of the air, and that's as good as it gets. Jamie Elliott kicks the goal, sends his team into the prelim as the Collingwood fans at the Adelaide Oval are in raptures. Well, with 20 seconds left, the Crows are now going into a do-or-die clash next week against the winner of Hawthorn and the Giants, a team you don't want to come up against. So as the seconds tick down, the Crows have wasted a crucial chance to have a home prelim final. Well, Collingwood have been questioned throughout the last few weeks, but they've answered in emphatic style. What a win for the Pies. They're still the best of the comp. And now they go into a home prelim. There's still a bit of push and shove around the ground here. So there's still a bit of push and shove going on after the siren's gone here. I would like to be interested. I'd love to be a fly on the wall there, but the final story is the Pies have won, and they go into a home prelim while the Crows go on to play next week. Well, I've got to say that's very disappointing from Adelaide. They should have won this game. I'm going to be honest. Not because of how they played tonight, but throughout the season, I guess finals. That definitely proves though finals aren't won in the first 24 rounds of the season. All right, guys, we'll end the stream there. Thank you for watching. Finals story, of course, if you missed the entire stream, you come in now. Collingwood have won. They're into the prelim final at the MCG while the Crows go on to next week. But I think